Parental warning: the following feature contains coarse language, drug use and alcohol consumption. It is not recommended for children.
Hello, and welcome to Better Than Socks Volume 2 Social Commentary. This time, 10 years ago, we released a mixtape called Better Than Socks Volume 2, which was
the sequel
to Better Than Socks.
So it was better than the first pair of socks we had?
No, not better than the first pair of socks. Just Better Than Socks number 2.
That just was a follow-on. Because once we made Better Than Socks 1, when we did the ending of it, like the outro, remember when we were in the room beatboxing and all that, the ending, and we were just talking, and we're like, oh yeah, we're going to do Better Than Socks 2 since we're on a run. We're like, fuck yeah, we're just going to keep making these things. Because we're really...
Better Than Socks
really
number
wanted to
9. Give Vin Diesel starring one of our things.
But then Better Than Socks 2... Better Than Socks 2 took a few years to come to fruition after Better Than Socks 1. Like, just Better Than Socks.
Well, I had a period where I moved
yeah,
to
well, that started
so...
Because it was like, oh yeah, Tippy's kind of piss off to Tassie, just as we were like, yeah, we're going to do a number 2. and then fucking, you were like, I'm going to leave. So then we thought, oh, well, we'll just continue it on our own and we'll just make number 2. But then that was supposed to be January 2009. We didn't release this until 2010.
Oh, was it?
Was it 2011?
2011.
2011.
2011.
So we sat around on,
Well,
we lost...
We released DC vs. The Riot Factor. We lost a whole heap of recordings that we originally did for Better Than Socks 2.
Yeah, we lost the first bare bones of what was going to be Better Than Socks Volume 2 because the hard drive crashed. I only had I found, a couple of years later, I found some USBs with a couple of lyrics, which was like Inverell rap, and there was another song that I can't fucking remember, but we ended up putting that song on DC vs. The Riot Factor, which was the release before this one.
I remember that.
So, and there was some songs on this one that was originally planned to be on DC vs. The Riot Factor, but we just didn't have them finished. And then when we went, let's do Better Than Socks 2, we sort of combined 3 different projects into this one.
Yeah.
Instead of going, we had an EP going, Postcard from the Coast.
Yeah.
Then we had something else, and we went, fuck it, we'll just put it into Better Than Socks 2, and then we sort of blended it and made it all sort of match that sort of sound that we wanted for Better Than Socks 2.
Yeah.
So we're going to go and do a commentary on every song and talk about where we were at, what we were thinking or what was going on at the time when we wrote those rhymes. If there's songs that I produced, I'll talk about the beats and shit.
So the first song off the Better Than Socks Volume 2 is another intro.
Yeah, another intro.
So we did, what was this called? Intro on Better Than Socks.
Yeah, it was just a play on
simple.
No, it's just a play on N-Sayne, like N-Sayne. So the intro instead of introduction, it was N-Tro.
Sure.
So I just thought we'd just be tricky dickies and
do
another intro. And when I remember when I was we wanted to do the intro, I had to find something for the intro, like the beat. So I'll start off with that before we get into the verse. I'll start off. And
What's the original song you used? What beat did we use for this intro? So here, but I know the song.
So the beat, what happened was I kept looking, because I wanted a similar beat to sort of tie in with the first Better Than Socks. So I wanted something with strings or brass or some shit, So I was trying to make it. I was looking for samples and shit, because I was chopping up beats and shit back then. And it's like, I couldn't find a sample that would sound similar.
Yeah.
And it was just a matter of going, oh, fuck it. I'll go on YouTube and just look for fucking beats, someone else's beats. Couldn't find anything, because I was at Bundara at Mum's that night, I remember, and I'm like, fuck it. Intro, instrumental. And I come along and I found this one, which is a Jedi Mind Tricks beat.
There you go, Jedi Mind Tricks.
It was an intro off one of their albums.
Yeah.
And I remember the beat starts off like this that you hear now, and then it cuts into it. It only does it for about 20 seconds of what you hear on this beat. and then it changes into a whole different beat, and that's sort of, they start rapping on that beat, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm just going to use that first 30 seconds, loop it enough for us to do the intro on it.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what happened with the intro beat.
And that's how you got the intro bit. And this sound's obviously been remastered, that's what it sounds. So I remember it sounded different.
What was that?
I remember it sounded more poor quality, sound quality wise. So you've remastered the whole album, haven't you?
I did remaster. These ones that we're listening to now are the original.
These are the original.
But the ones that we re-released, which you can cop now on our Bandcamp, or if you ask Paddy or Tippy,
has been remastered.
If you ask them,
greater quality.
I went through and remastered them, and they sound a lot more crisp.
Yeah,
and
more studio
I
quality.
learned a lot about. I learned a lot about where we recorded the songs and some of the random shit in the background of that from remastering them. But yeah, back then didn't really master the songs.
We barely even mixed them. We mixed a little bit, but we
Yeah.
didn't take any pride in fucking doing any mastering at all.
Yeah, we just did.
we're just enjoying just laying down tracks.
Just did a dry mix
Being
and
able to do
everything.
that was cool enough, let alone all the studio mixing and all that stuff that comes with it afterwards.
That's right.
But it was a great process to learn the whole system of making and recording music. It was my first, or better, one was obviously, but
But then this was more of a process for you because
yeah.
when we
because
first
you really only just were like
I
two
was just
songs
starting.
and you weren't
I
even
didn't
really
know how to
involved
write
in
it,
anything
right.
else.
Yeah,
At that
you-
point, I didn't even know how to write raps. Like, never did, and it was just like freestyle on it, and then we just do it.
you had one song on Better Than Socks and then like a little bit of background stuff on maybe two songs on the first Better Than Socks. But this one you did a verse and we had you in the background of pretty much nearly every song on here. Like all the choruses, you're in the background. And like we had you doing dubs on certain things like Party in My Place.
Yeah.
So it was big for you because you done a lot. You were right in the middle of the recording process. Where
I was watching everything he's doing.
back in the day, like you were mostly just drinking in the background. So you know, like you didn't
Yes,
like back
I
when it was the old N-Sayne crew. Like you wasn't a part of. You wasn't always into the recording sessions and shit. You just like were hanging out with the crew.
background stuff, right?
Just bro. So
Just throwing.
the first lyrics and that, it only feels like yesterday, pacing behind the stage, curtain call at the sound.
Town hall.
Town hall, are we ready to play? No, we had to run back and adjust our beats, make them that little bit thicker than they already is, staring at the kids. All that is talking about when we performed at the town
I was
hall.
about to say you had to run back, check all your lyrics, and then like.
No, not check the lyrics.
You had to cut
We
the
just-
language out, it is.
Well-
Check your run go because it was a Christian.
Yeah, but we already did that before we already had
Before
that process down before the night. What we did that night though is we were supposed to perform with a different set of beats, and then Jacob was like, "No, fuck it, we should just go back to my place, get this beat and that beat for this song and that song."
Yeah.
And
Was
we'll
it phrase
go and do it
off
on
when
these
you got on
songs.
stage and it's a different beat to the song and the lyrics? Or you
Not
just,
really.
you just
Not
know
at
what
that
you-
point.
That's
Okay.
I remember that song, like that time.
I would have failed.
What we did was Dave, my neighbour at the time, he was like this. He was a part of the social, like a Christian.
I thought he was the church leader.
He might have been a leader of
pastor
a
dude.
church group thing, like, and they was like talking about how they're going to do this concert at the town hall, and Paddy had been like performing "Don't Worry," and there was another one you did as well. They were like really youth sort of anti-drug sort of. All that kind of stuff that people sort of like. So we did a lot of TAFE gigs, town hall gigs, and all that kind of shit at that time. So Paddy was shopping that, and then we said to Dave, "Oh, hey, someone must have mentioned like Vital Heights was performing at it, or maybe Ben Roberts said, oh, hey, we're doing a gig at the town hall and that." And then Paddy just seen him next door and went, "Hey, do you reckon I could do these two songs?" And he said, "Yeah, man, as long as there's no swearing, man." And he's like, "Oh yeah, come down. We'll do a sound check on this day just to make sure it's all good. Show me your set." So we went down the day before it, or 2 days before it. At that time, I think we just did. We did "Don't Worry" and "N-Sayne Do the March," and we showed him that. And he's like, "Yeah, that's good, rah rah." And then Paddy's like, "Oh, can we maybe do another song?" He's like, "Yeah, as long as there's no swearing." So then we chucked in all my hip hop heads, and that's where we got the beats and changed all the beats around, because all my hip hop heads was just one solid track, I think, at that point. So that's when we chopped up all the beats and changed our set list and everything. Staring out at the kids, yet you shouldn't be here yet, too young to see the rappers that never do mic checks. Just rock up to the spot, leave us shit and leave the set. So when we looked out the crowd, because it was a youth group, there was fucking like 8, 9-year-olds in the crowd. There was 20-year-olds in the crowd. There was all different age groups, and we're like, holy crap, man.
It's like Christian band camp.
But it was insane because there was a lot of people we knew that came just to watch us and watch Vital Heights, and then they probably all left after that because they were all just hip hop heads. So it was really awesome just to do that gig. Throwing tricks in the boot. You didn't see shit. Am I correct? Paddy, do you remember that story?
This one.
Do you remember that story?
I do remember that story. It refers to a time where we used to pick Blake up from school or Oratory up from school. And quite often there'd be too many people in my car already.
Yeah.
So we'd just make him get into the trunk or the boot of my car and we'd just make sure no one was watching, shove him in there, slam it and just drive off as quick as we could.
Yeah, Paddy didn't. He had too many people and not enough room in his car to be...
Kidnapping rappers.
So a lot of times they'd be
kidnapping rappers to perform on our track.
So
get in the boot, motherfucker. Come to perform on the track. That's how it went.
A lot of the times we'd just sneak someone in the boot, sometimes 2 people in the boot, just to get to a destination.
Yes.
When we didn't have the old Tarago.
They want to hang, only one had a license.
That particular day, Blake had just walked out of the class, like out of school, when he's walking down the road, and me and Paddy were standing next to Paddy's car, and Trix was just being a smart ass. So Paddy's just popped the boot open, grabbed him
up, and shoved him in there,
threw him in the boot,
slammed the boot down, then looked at.
And there was 2 little kids there's 2 young girls, high school girls, walking along. They're looking at it like, "What the fuck are these?" And then Paddy's like, "You didn't see shit." And then he ran and jumped in the car. And we all just took off. Meanwhile, Blake's pissing himself laughing in the boot. He loved it. And then we went around the corner, let him out, and we're like, "Yeah, that was fucking awesome."
Yeah, just kidnap him.
Yeah, we just used to do all sorts of stupid shit to Blake.
Shit, yeah.
Tippy. You know we can't do it without Tip.
I did that a lot, yes.
That's
Skate,
what we-
drink, no matter time of day, rain, hail, shine. And just hang with the boys. They used to
Tippy.
come down skating.
Tippy used to love skating. And then it'd be like, let's go film some stuff.
Not usually, always.
Let's film some skating at the skate park, and then it'd rain.
And then it rained every time I skated.
So the Tippy like, I'm going to go
Every
get
time.
I'm going to get some beers and go
Every
drink
single time we've tried to film you skating, right?
Yep. I'm like,
Except-
come on, bros, let's come film. Let's so go film, do some skate video or some shit, bro. It'll be sick. Not rain on us. So
Yeah.
go drink.
So the
Go drink and then
Tippy
go back to Pat's out, Gilgai, make music.
I'm not going to skate anymore. Fuck,
No. Fuck you. Fuck you, weather.
fuck the world. We used to beat ourselves as kids, stabbing each other with sticks.
Oh, yeah.
That Gilgai.
Stealing
Way back in Tippy's old house. In the
cardboard boxes from behind the Gilgai shop.
dressing up in cardboard boxes like it was a
Looked like
armor,
Nick
and
Selling.
just stabbing each other
Stood
with
up.
fucking sword sticks.
Yes.
Fucking
Jousting on our push
Beat
bikes.
the crap out of each other.
Dangerous shit.
Jousting on our push bikes was mental.
Right,
Still in a mannequin out of the front of your house.
I wasn't involved in that.
That was funny.
That was a good night.
Down the road from where we used to live, there was a fucking homemade mannequin sitting on someone's veranda. And we'd always walk past it and go, what the fuck is that? This random mannequin that someone had built. And it just looked like a person sitting at the front of their house. Sitting at the front of the house and like...
It was made involved like coke bottles and stuff.
Yeah, it was creepy looking.
It sounds creepy.
And it had like a mask and shit. Like someone, I don't know, weird. But
They had clothes and shit on.
yeah, it had like
full of that
pants,
stuff.
clothes, suit, tie, all sorts of random. It was a random thing. It was only just on the corner down the end of Inverell Street, sort of.
Yeah.
You know, like me and Paddy and Fletcher Dog, we were coming home from the Oxford, drunk as fuck, and we're like, mannequin. And then we're like, let's take the cunt.
So Jason
Fletcher walked up casually, just as he used, because he used to just be real casual as fuck when he walked and strolled. He just grabbed it by the neck and he walked back out, walked up the street and he threw it at me. So I just piggybacked it up the street. And then we got it back to the house. We're like, what the fuck are we going to do with this mannequin? We're talking about the Jason
We're
W.
talking about the same mannequin if we're doing Jason Dummy. It's fucking relaxing. We were sure someone was chasing us up the street. I don't know, they probably weren't, but you know, we still ran a couple of blocks.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
Yeah, but that mannequin situation was like referring to usual audience that we got to a bunch of mannequins
because they did
we'd already just had the mannequin incident situation happen. So I used that as a fucking stepping stone to say, well, these crowds don't really do nothing at the shows. They come and drink and they sit back in the fucking background and listen, but they're not front stage. They're not mosh pit or nothing like.
None of them would enjoy it. Everyone just sits back and tries to be judgmental and.
But that's just the country. Yeah. That's just the country take on live hip hop. I mean,
it's even live music in general, bro. Like
it's just a country take. Yeah.
Plenty of concerts around here. People just stand there. They don't do anything.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And then you go to the city and it's an actual vibe.
People just jump around
vibe to the whole thing, and you just feel it. And
that's just what we learnt to deal with, and we try. We get crowd response, but at the start it was fucking hard to try and do it, and it was weird for us. We had to learn.
But it's always hard at the start anyway, because you're uncomfortable and you're trying to figure out how to keep a crowd entertained and responding to you. Like just figuring that out is hard.
And then it's awkward just trying to learn that, and then it's even more awkward when the crowd's awkward as fuck as well. So it's like, it's all right when you got a big group of city cunts that'll jump around in the front row and mosh pit and shit. If you're like nervous and being like, oh, should I tell these cunts to jump, or should it's like, it's different then, even though then you got like this situation where you're in a country town where they're just all standing back watching. You're not sure what they're thinking. They probably look at these fuckheads. They're just jumping around like retards.
Y'all sound nothing like that books at all.
This ain't country.
This ain't the country.
But we made it work. Like the last show we did, man, it was hectic as fuck.
So that every time, like if you see us bashing each other with sticks, it's just to make you think that we're off our tits. It's just a way to say that we're different. We do things differently to everybody else. So if you see us being a bunch of fuckwits, either say hello or move on. Don't fucking bother us.
We're doing our own thing.
Is there any substance to that? Take a drink from this juice that I stole from the moose. It's just random stoner vibes.
Yeah. It's just a way I found to finish off
just the flow,
the
rhyme structure,
verse with the rhymes that it was already happening. There was no substance to that whatsoever.
No substance.
And then the intro sort of just ends here. This is all a part of the original.
No, it's an intro.
You know who that is talking? I found out that it's Kane, like the old wrestler Kane.
Oh, wrestler.
It came off an old wrestling video, and the Jedi Mind Tricks have obviously sampled that.
Yeah.
And then it goes into a whole different beat after he talks.
Yeah.
That's where it came, like that whole intro was just,
Oh, interesting.
The intro was recorded in Bandara, and you were there.
Well,
Paddy was obviously there because he was on the song. But you were in the background just talking, because we're at Mum's.
Yeah.
And you were in the background talking to Mum, talking to Cindy. There was a heap of people there just talking in the background.
Yeah.
So we had to record all that with you all just having a big combo in the background, which was random as fuck.
Dodgy days.
Like we stayed in the lounge room, or we stayed in the lounge room?
I think we were going to try and do the room, but then we just ended up telling everyone to shut up.
Real ghetto setups in the day, wasn't it? Real ghetto setups.
Yeah, always ghetto setups.
Always ghetto.
Still ghetto setups.
Still ghetto setups.
Our sound quality is better because of
the quality of the microphone.
Knowledge is better. That's what
technology is better, bro.
Technology is better.
You can spend $600 and buy a whole home studio setup, but you don't have the soundproofing.
Yeah, that's right.
You get proper sound quality.
Yeah.
You just still have to dodgily set up.
And lighting too, that was never a thing. If we wanted professional studio quality lighting, you'd have to buy.
We never really did any
professional quality studio lighting.
Reasons.
Yeah.
$20.
$20.
No camera reasons. Like
I had a camera
when we started
earlier.
doing shit. We could buy a little fucking camcorder that.
How much
has
did
the
that
quality of
camcorder
a
cost me to
VHS
do?
tape?
Yeah, it cost me fucking near $2,000 to buy that
That
camcorder.
disc fucking
Yeah, the high HD camcorder
and
bullshit.
it was insane. Like nowadays, people have got it so much luckier
Oh yeah.
compared to what we used to have to do, and that's what made us.
Thanks,
quality
China.
with our smartphones now.
Yeah.
We had with actual
Oh,
camcorders.
definitely. Yeah, you could use your smartphone for every now. So music is just like, is the industry getting saturated with music because it's so much easier to make? Or do you believe that?
Easily
Oversaturated.
why, man? It's so much.
It's so easy for the common person to do this thing now.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It is. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but that's why we're seeing so much versatility and so much saturation in every industry. It's not just music. It's games. It's arts.
It's everything.
It's video.
Everything is
content
easily
creation.
accessible now.
Usually, all that stuff. Content
The world is
creation.
at the click of a button, click of a phone, whatever, you know.
Yes.
But it also made us adaptable before learning from that.
So we were in the middle of the end of you had to be somebody rich and famous to get a start, and the big birth of everybody can do it.
Everybody can do it. Yeah.
Paddy was in like the pioneering of like early home recording, especially in this town area. Like Paddy was one of the first people to record in his house. Everyone else had to go find a fucking studio or a radio station or something.
Yeah.
And when I first recorded, my microphone was like,
it was this skinny little fucking thing.
It's like probably maybe a little bit wider than the mic cable. Like it was this tiny little skinny
just
mic.
One of those little
computer
like a little stand.
A webcast sort of talking to people on a computer mic. It looked like
would have been
the size of a pen. Like it was so tiny.
Yeah. What's this song, Jacob?
This song is Pyromaniac Poetics.
Yeah.
I recorded my verse for this at Newcastle in my room. I can't remember if we recorded Paddy's verse at his house at the Parkwood Lab or if we recorded in Newcastle.
I do remember writing, like I remember travelling to Windale to visit Jacob one weekend. When I got there that very night, I wrote my verse for this, but I don't know. I think we might have recorded my verse, but I couldn't quite get it right because I know I struggled a fair bit with
it. It might have been a sketchy version that you recorded, and then we touched it up later and done it, when we had our Farnham back and we were all recording sessions, snapping them out like nothing. So, but yeah, Pyromaniac Poetics. What happened was I found this beat. Originally, we used to get beats and shit like on SoundClick, which was what SoundCloud is now. Before it was SoundCloud.
Before SoundCloud was even thought of.
And like I used to just like get beats from there, or like we'd use commercial beats. And what happened was I ended up looking at this other website called Jam Glue. Yeah, Jam Glue. I don't even know if it's still around or not, but it was similar where they put their beats up. Like people would put their music up or their beats and shit. And a lot of DJs and that would use it and remix beats and stuff. Yeah. What was cool was they had it online, like on the website, it had its own audio workstation, sort of like Cool Edit or Adobe or something. So you could put all the stems into like on the website, you could upload all the little sounds and everything.
Yes.
And you could just mix it online. And a couple of things like Bartender was up there. And I was like, T-Pain's Bartender's on there, and you could like take all this little sounds off it and chop it up and make it into whatever you wanted to. Like you could be a DJ, if you're a DJ, you can chop it up and remix it.
Yeah, that's great.
And then
what was it called again?
Jam Glue is the website. And then this beat, I seen this other beat for this because there used to be up front banner saying competitions, like they wanted DJs and producers and that to remix shit.
Yeah.
So that was this beat by the Blue Scholars. It was called Fire for the People. And they sort of had this like Fort Minor sort of sound to them, like, but they were like sort of Korean Asian sort of band, like rappers. I don't know what they were, but like, yeah, Blue Scholars. They were called the Blue Scholars, and the beat was called Fire for the People. And when I heard the beat, I was like, this is fucking awesome. I had to write something for this shit. And then, because the song was already called, like the beat was called Fire for the People. So then I got the idea of like, anything to do with fire. So I was like, that was the topic. And then I remember I wrote the verse and the chorus, and then I sent it to Paddy. But on Paddy's verse, I wrote a little note and said, "It burns when I pee." and then I was hoping, because I'd already wrote my verse, I'm like, I'm hoping Paddy can tie "It burns when I pee" somewhere in there. And he didn't disappoint. So we'll get into it. So yeah, pretty much anything to do with fire. That's what I was channeling. When I wrote my verse, I'm like, anything to do with fire, just throwing out bars. And then got the bonfires in the street, like we were from Mount Druitt, which is like a housing commission area in Sydney.
Mount Druitt. Yeah, I used to live in Mount Druitt.
Oh, Tippy.
Druitt boy.
Druitt. You live in your Druitt.
Shout out to all my hobbies in Mount Druitt.
Druitt.
I just remember. I remember going there. Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like a halfway go pulling there.
Yeah, I think Mum's friends.
See your friends and shit.
Yeah, and then trying to live somewhere. I don't know. I was too
Too
young for it to.
Gypsy lifestyle. You were just wanting to.
I'm fucking gypsy.
Tippy dude. We just need a little mannequin for Tippy when he's not around.
Right.
Be like, Just random talking to the mannequins there.
Tippy comes back in, throws the mannequins in the laundry, fucking sits in the chair.
Tippy just talks again. Then Tippy starts talking and the mannequins just there.
Oh no, freak me out.
No, I'm saying like, because you keep jumping up, we just like put a little mannequin there to record. So when we're talking and you're not talking, it's like, you're just stood over there. So the Mount Druitt line was like, one of my sister's friends lived at Mount Druitt. So one time, like, we used to go down there a couple of times.
And there was like a car burning at the front or something?
There was just a big, some people would just stand out in front of their house with a 44-gallon drum, big fire.
Yeah.
I was like, it's fucking random as fuck, man. Like, I didn't see that kind of shit before because we were up here. You don't see that shit up here.
Yeah.
They're not gonna let you do that out in front of your house up here. But I was just like, this is fucking trippy as fuck. So yeah, that's what I took back from Mount Druitt. That voice. I use that in Better Than Socks too, as the first one as well.
Yeah.
You are now in the presence of. Because Paddy wanted me to say something like that. So then yeah, I'd use that. It's like
because that's how I wrote my verse to start, but I could never pull off the voice like
you are now in the presence of. The boys just lit the Oval on fire once again.
So we did legitimately, the three of us and a couple of others.
How old was it? 11.
I wasn't involved.
Oh, okay, so it was me and Tippy and a couple of other boys.
One
It might have been 11. I think it was a little bit earlier than that, but
Jay was there. We did. It was a 3-day period of your
I
mum's
remember.
Smashes collection.
I remember like Paddy used to do it sometimes. He'd just like light things on fire and throw it in the Oval because he'd
then
been
right
right
over
next
to
to it.
stomp it out.
Yeah, it was fun to
This
put the
stuff-
fire out.
This particular day, you boys just took it a bit too far. And the whole Oval just caught on
We didn't
fire.
take it too far. I went to the toilet. I come out. The Oval's
So
on
and so
fire.
did.
The Oval's on fire.
So I'm pretty sure I lit the fucking thing.
And
And then it might have been Dale that threw it.
He threw it.
And then the fire started to spread a little bit bigger than what I'd stomped out successfully before. So Dale was like, "No, just get this bit of cardboard over here and just go over and
Fan the
flame
flame
over top of it."
Yeah.
Well,
It wasn't.
That's
we
a smart
fanned the
idea.
flames all right.
Yeah,
We
what
went
happened?
down
He
to
threw it
Gilgai
the
Oval.
first time, Paddy. He threw it, it started, and that's what we did. One throw, put out where it landed, and that was the game. But then we did that. You were stomping it, it was going out. He ran up and grabbed it, the thing that
Oh, that's right.
and threw it again. And again, he did it like 3 times. So then we had 3 spot fires in 3 different areas going. And then, yeah, we couldn't control it.
Fuck. Yes. Health.
But that led it to like 6 months of cleaning the fire station and all that stuff.
So tune in next week on Confessions from 2 Arsonists. So there's that burns when I pee that I wrote on the note. Lyrics.
Fucking burn too many trees, busted hot for thee. Now the only thing I know is that it burns when I pee.
Like a bad batch of acid, which we not see.
So it's basically just saying like I smoked myself stupid and forgot what the fuck I did and ended up with an STD.
Pretty much.
Yes.
But it was like
We've all been
fire,
there.
so you know it's pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, because like when I wrote my verse, I just kept thinking of all this fire shit. And I'm like, the burns when I pee, it came last. I'm like, you know,
Johnny
I
Cash.
can't pull that off. And I wrote it for Paddy. I'm like, you'll fucking find something, I'm sure. Light bombs to drink and absence weather.
Now, whenever we perform this song, even when I try to record it, like in the practice, the performance, trying to record it, I always mess that last line up. I always, what is it?
It's lighting bombs and drinking absent. But what you
Feeding
always
flames, so I was like lighting absence, drinking bombs.
Yeah, you used to always
say
follow
that
that
every single time.
I think you do like 3 takes, 4 takes, and you do that verse just to get it right because you get on your flow and you do half your verse and then you'd be like, fuck up the last 2 lines. It's like
lighting absence, drinking bombs, and I'd be like, oh, of course you would.
and we'd be joking, going, yeah, you drink your bombs all the time. Next song is on N-Sayne.
Yeah.
So I think
Name of the song, not a
the
state.
beat came around from. Didn't I tell you? Didn't I ask you to sample it or something? Or
No, I think you just loved it because you liked the original song.
yeah,
I was looking through, I just was going through fucking anything, looking for samples. This was like in Bandara, making beats at mum's house, going through the computer, looking through the hard drive of music, and I'm just like, I'm going to see what Black Sabbath stuff I could sample. And I ended up sampling what was that song? Bloody Paranoid is a sample. And I slowed it down, and it's like maybe it's half speed, so the beat is half speed of what the original song that I sampled was. So I was like real slow, and then I just fucking put some real menacing drums and shit on it, put some bass line on it, and then I think I sent it to Paddy. We were talking on Facebook. I'm like, oh, check out this beat I just made, and then like within like 20 minutes, Paddy had wrote the verse. He's like, we're going to write a fucking song to this, mate. Here's my verse. I'm like, fuck. so then we recorded it at Paddy's house at the Parkwood Lab. And yeah, we'll go through the lyrics on that one.
There
I think because Ozzy's saying, people think I'm insane, it sort of clicked and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm going to just sample that.
Fuck yeah.
It was like meant to be.
So I bought a drum kit and I started drumming for a little while, and I thought it'd be funny to add that line in the song. So then for the song, we just dragged my whole drum set outside.
So all the background sound effects were Paddy's drum set, and then the next bit where you can hear extra drums is Paddy actually drumming in the background. And we did like 3 or 4 takes of just random drumming sounds to try, and then I sort of just meshed it in with the beat. But yeah,
it works.
So yeah, that was Paddy's drumming phase.
Yes.
What happened to them? Did you sell them or?
Yeah, I sold them when Kylie moved in with me, and then Noah lived with Dad and Bon and Kylie, and there was just no room for the drums in the house anymore.
What is the infamous Roo? Was that just random lyrics? Like, this is in your backyard chasing the infamous Roo? That's just so random.
It's just like, I don't know, so in my mind when I wrote it, it was like the Aussie version of the Holy Grail, was the infamous Roo.
The infamous Roo. That is a funny story. those 3 bars.
I climbed up on the roof of the house I was living in and smoked some bongs and drank some beer up there with a couple of mates, and then they all climbed down and I was too smashed, too drunk and stoned to even contemplate climbing down.
You would have probably been paranoid as fuck too.
So I started freaking out, wondering how the fuck I'm going to get off this roof.
Still up there today. This is climbing.
This is my roof. We've built a house on top of it.
We're still on top of Paddy's old roof.
And then you called
He's
out.
built his life around him on top of the roof.
You called out to buddy Darren to come and get you.
Yeah.
Because he was a fireman. How fun.
Fuck, that was
We used to play a lot of loud music nearly every day, not even just every weekend. Like
Just
we used to
on the
party
regular.
just about every single day or every second day. And there was a while there, police were coming out every 2 or 3 days and asking me to turn the music down. Like, it might have been 2 weeks into it or something. They're like, if we've got to come out one more time, you're getting a noise abatement order, you were getting a big fine for this shit.
Oh, lovely.
got sick of us.
The system's always trying to break us down. So this part was the first time on this mixtape that you hear Tippy, because you did the backing vocals on our chorus on this one, which is better call the loony bin, the crazy rappers escaped going now with another mixtape.
So I was just hanging most times just to hang with us, and then just always giving me some sort of little fucking thing to do on your
Yeah,
time.
like Tippy wanted you to get in on it,
Mate,
You were be with us. You were there all the time. You may as well be making music with us.
Yeah, and jump on stage with us, man. Like, you know, you got to be part of it. And like, yeah, so we'd be like, okay, Tippy, here's the chorus. Say this shit, man, and he'd be like, right, bro, and he'd get up there and he'd fucking do the choruses and shit. So that's what he done on this one.
I love that paranoid cut half. It's so good.
The cut.
Yeah, the sample is paranoid.
And it's like,
Insane.
insane. It's a bad vibe, eh? But only here with the veterans, we're the fucking town
Critics. Yeah, that's where you're at.
We've always, because we've been around so long, we've seen a lot of rappers come through.
Well, I was the first one in town to
Do
make music. Well, not make music, but make rap music.
Other than that, it was like make a band, preferably country or rock, and that was the options.
That's
with
it,
music
yeah.
in this town, and then has on gone a different direction. He did go heavy metal at the start off. He was a big heavy metal fan, bro.
I still am a heavy metal
Still
fan.
a fan.
I
Music,
still
we're music
listen,
fans.
I listen to just about everything apart from country.
Yeah, but you wanted to go that
But-
direction, didn't you?
Yeah, I did want to go in the direction of a heavy metal band. I always did.
The only reason we never
I'd
did is
still
because we
like
can't
to,
play
but-
fucking instruments.
That's right. We didn't take any time in school to learn instruments and anything like that, and none of us can fucking sing either. Like,
No.
so we just rap.
Yes, right.
It's an easy way to
an easier form of
channel
expressing
music,
yourself.
yeah.
You don't have to hold notes and do all that.
And like the town critic, because like
Every
been
time
around so
somebody
long.
releases something, we criticise it. Like, if you want to be a rapper in Inverell, you got to beware. Like, you got to accept our criticism because we're going to criticise everything. We don't even criticise everything that comes out of Inverell. We criticise everything anyway. It just
we just love chatting
it's just
about everything.
our bearing holds most to the town we're from.
And like we love to see the new talent, and it's not. I don't even know how much talent is like coming out of this scene at this very moment. I mean, it might not be any bastards rapping now, but who knows?
I don't think there is.
There's a couple that's still right, like.
But like
But
we used to,
nobody
where they
actually
really
records and
into it.
releases music here in Inverell anymore. Not even any kind of music. Like, it's just
Well, they're all facing the same stigmata and shit that we did back in the day.
Well,
And they just
true.
need that. Then, like, you showed all these other young fellas, they never probably would have went the direction because they didn't have all the ghetto equipment to set
that's-
up and practice it.
That's where like it comes from what we were talking about earlier, where like with technology, with cameras and all that shit, we never had it. That's really why a lot of rappers would come to us because we were the ones that knew how to record our music and we'd put it out to people and people would have it on their phones and stuff like, oh, these guys are rappers. And then some people would be like, oh, I can do that stuff. So then they'd come and see us and then we'd record with them. That's how like Blake and Duke, that's how these guys all like come into our group pretty much because they just wanted to record their music and they met these people that loved making music at the same time. So, you know, this stuff like nowadays, it makes you wonder if it's going to be the same sort of situation. Like how do rap crews form now when you got everyone on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok rapping? Like,
Yeah,
it's just
true.
solo artists
It
making
does
videos.
oversaturate the industry.
You know?
It makes it harder for those actual talented individuals to get up.
Like there could have been a Joe Blow out fucking Ashford or somewhere that could rap really good, but because he never come and met us, he never did it, and he
Or
just
similar
went and become
people
a cocky or
doing
something, you
the
know?
same thing. Yeah, exactly.
Like a lot of people missed opportunities back then because of that kind of shit. So it's a good thing too, where anyone can do it, but it's
Needs
fucking
to be more
saturated the scene a lot.
Oh, yeah, it's easy.
I mean, that's nearly still relevant. People on YouTube and shit.
Yeah.
It's crazy. We're ahead of the curve.
people on YouTube is more relevant now than it was when we released this.
Fucking
Yeah.
oath, like,
We're just-
YouTube
we've
was
seen
very
it
niche
every
back
day.
then.
Seen everything where it had.
It was very niche back then.
Yes, it
'Cause,
was
like,
niche.
Cameras weren't very as
It was really only to promote
We all didn't have camera phones back then.
like large commercial songs. Like
yeah, video
mainly
clips.
the only thing you could find on YouTube was music videos,
Yeah,
and you weren't even supporting the artists back then by doing that. Like
no, because it
a
wasn't even
lot
it was
of the
big
videos
labels.
uploaded were
Other
not
people
even
uploaded
uploaded by
people's
big
video.
labels. They were just uploaded by everyday people. It was copyright infringement from the fucking
fuck.
get-go.
Oh, yeah, huge.
Yeah,
copyright
YouTube
infringement.
fucking went. There was a time where they had that much shit. They just fucking muted anything that wasn't from the original person. It was just a big shit show. Now it's sort of better now because they've changed all their laws and everything with it.
Yeah.
They've learnt to deal with it all. Next song.
Yeah, what is the next song?
The next song is Ain't No Love.
This is the heart of the city.
I think that we did have this one originally for I think I was going to put this on DC That's the Rhyme Factor, but
Yeah.
we never finished it. I think maybe your verse wasn't. You just didn't do your verse, or it might have been just after.
I don't think because I'm still not happy with the way my verse turned out. I think I didn't change any of my verse, but I wasn't happy with the way it was written. So we didn't put it on DC Verse Rhyme Factor.
Maybe because it had a different feel as well, and
All over the same there.
you can sort of feel like we had a certain feel with Better Than Socks. Like certain songs meshed better with Better Than Socks.
And it was just a mixtape. It was a really good. It was a stepping stone to our group. Paddy, you had a few more album mixtapes before Better Than Socks, didn't you?
Fucking know.
Oh yeah,
We did like 3
I've
different...
been making music for like a few years before
20
we did
years.
Before,
Yeah.
So
prior.
10 years since before this started, Paddy been making songs.
Had a few albums. Go check them out.
So it's been 20 years. So Paddy's had a lot of songs, with this song in particular, there's a Kanye West beat.
Yeah.
I wrote it in.
Yeah, set the scene, Jake. Kanye West beat. What subject? Is there a subject theme, or is it just?
Yes. That's, I think you used to interview it. The formula, the formulas with Better Than Socks seem to be like Kanye West beats.
Yeah.
Aussie hip hop tones. Sort of blends into that shit.
Yeah.
And I'd had this beat, and I'm just like, I'm gonna write to it. And I thought about "Ain't No Love" is the chorus. "Ain't no love in the heart of the city," which is the sample.
Yeah.
And I just thought of how our town
So like we were saying before,
with how motherfuckers will just stand around watching you.
Yeah, they
won't participate
involve
in the
themselves,
music.
they won't participate in it.
So that's
And
really
it's hard to perform when you look out at the can. Everyone's just there looking at you standing crossed arms.
having a scooter watching you. But then they'll come up to you like shaking it. That was a really good show, bro.
Yeah,
that was
like,
fucking awesome.
But you didn't feel that on stage. You're like, am I doing good? And then you do it anyway, fuck it. And then after they say it's a great show. But that's the scene here, so that's just what we have to deal with.
So let's get into Ain't No Love.
Ain't no love.
See what we can find in the lyrics.
Yeah, see what we find. Do you want to elaborate on that old school nickname?
Sam,
The Sandman.
Oh, that too, plus
And the
Def
Damn
Card,
Man.
Damn
Damn
Man,
Man.
all those things. He,
Over the span of 20 years.
Bieber has had a few
Teddy's had a lot of
rapper
different-
names.
Had a lot of rap names, man.
Yeah, I just couldn't.
Damn Man.
Great.
Not everyone was
Fine.
blessed with one like you.
Yes. I wasn't blessed, I was given. It's just a nickname. I don't want it as a rap.
I just didn't know. Like I originally chose Sandman because I liked the idea of the Sandman. You know?
Not the HQ Utes.
No, the actual Sandman.
Oh, the actual
The
suit.
person
Mr.
who's
Sandman.
fucking-
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely, yes.
Give me a drink.
So I like the idea of that.
Yeah.
And then, so I went with that name, but then I just thought it doesn't really fit the image I was going for. Death Card come from a high school textbook. I can't remember what the textbook was called. I just remember it was about these gangs. We got given a list of books we could read for a Year 10 assignment. I chose this book. And they had some gangster shit in there. And one of the gang members' name was Death Card. I don't even remember why. Something about leaving a sorry card or something when he killed someone. I don't fucking know.
Leaves the
Some
Def
random
Card
shit.
because
It just resonated with me for some reason. I was like, oh, this is good. I'll call myself Death Card. Like, that's
And a
pretty
lot
cool. That'll do.
Yeah.
A lot of
And you
Paddy's
used to wear all DC, so it sort of went.
eventually.
Southern
Yeah,
shoes
well-
that would be good for your feet. Well, only fit.
Well, I kind of got over the name Death Card and just abbreviated
Shorter
it to
Yeah,
DC.
DC.
It's
That
like,
just sounded cooler too.
the DC,
DC.
yeah, that's a heap cooler than Death Card.
And then you had all the clothes already with your name on it, so it's like self-branding. Was it nowadays on YouTube and they do all that? You were doing that back then with other people's products.
Yeah.
Abbreviate your name
Self-branding.
and just use someone
Self-branding.
else's self-brand. Now I got self-brands, yeah. Buy my merch, bitches.
I mean, Damn Man was never really a stage name for me. It was just a song.
That's
like
just a nickname sort
So-
of song, yeah.
So I was in the yard one day and I just sort of started freestyling what ended up being
The Damn Man song.
the Damn Man
The
song.
chorus sort of, I'm the damn man.
Yeah.
With the
With the
dance
dance
stand. That
Knock you on your ass harder than a handstand. On a bandstand. I'm the Australian dream, man. That's
Oh, so yeah, that's us saying that we started this. We talked about that earlier. How we started.
We started
this
this
Inverell
shit.
hip hop scene. Paddy B.
yeah. We took
First
it's
to do
a
this shit.
recurring theme in our tracks when we
It's a bragging thing.
it's flexing.
No G's.
When you first went to Newcastle after Better Than Socks.
And you would, at that point, I'd left, and there was probably a 12-month period, and it's like Paddy was just becoming a father to his first child, so like there was a bit of a gap where we weren't communicating as much, and there wasn't much talk of music. There was a lot of focus. Paddy was focusing on his baby and that, and then I was in Newcastle trying to get into my fucking sound production course and shit.
yeah, it's just
Adjusting to the
don't
city
do
life.
that way.
So then people were just like, "Are you still making music, Paddy?" and like all this kind of stuff. So that's probably what you were talking about there.
Yeah, it definitely was what I was talking about there. They were just like, I'd be often asked, was I still making music? And I said, well, not really at the moment. Like, I just
in different transitions.
Music's sort of on the back burner for the minute as
life transitions, bro.
Yeah, so people were saying, where the fuck's your music? And you're like, yeah, I put it on the back burner. Cause
not really making music at the moment. I've just had a kid, like,
focusing on the
bandmate moved away and we haven't really talked about music since then. We don't really know how we're going to make it work, like him being in Newcastle and me being in Inverell.
So, yeah.
That was just the early days and we didn't talk about anything like that, you know, we just sort of...
It was a big change in our lives.
Yeah.
Both of our lives were different changes. So we were sort of focusing on those two different changes. And then we sort of worked our way back in the middle and we kind of figure out a way to do it.
Oh, we did figure out a way to do it.
And that's what we did with DFC versus the Rhyme Factor. We corresponded by emails and Facebook, and we that's where we started learning how to do it.
Yeah.
And then that's the same continuation with this mixtape. Is we did the same thing. So that's what really.
So some of the things, like some of the tracks were done in Newcastle by Jacob, like his recordings were in Newcastle, my recordings were here, and then others were done together, and then some were like some of Jacob's tracks were done in Newcastle while I wasn't there, and then some of my tracks weren't done until Jacob come back to Inverell and we did a recording session together. Like we just worked it the best way we could.
Yeah, we made it work. Fall apart on the way home. It'll take more than that to knock this pharaoh off the throne. It was Paddy's awesome boat investment.
So, yeah,
It was a good investment.
I got my first tax return. Like, I was very excited. I got quite a bit of money back, and I really, really wanted to buy a boat. And I found this half cabin boat in Newcastle. So I was
Was
like,
it Maitland, wasn't it?
yeah, it was in
Mate.
Maitland. I'm like, well, Jacob lives in Windale. That's not too far away from Maitland. I'm going to make a weekend of it. I'll go down to
Pick me up.
Windale. We'll pick Jacob up. We'll buy a boat. And we'll drive it home.
Drive back to Inverell and I'll stay up there for a week and we'll do some music and shit. You know, like yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. So we get to Maitland and Paddy's fucking hitched up the trailer of the boat and we get halfway to we get to Musselbrook and the fucking trailer falls apart.
Literally.
The trailer just starts splitting.
The arms off the trailer.
The back
All the words were
where the
busted
number
to
plates
shit.
were just went and we're like, oh shit. So then we had to fucking go to Singleton, we had to travel back another half hour to go fucking try and get a trailer. And then I think we ended up having to go back.
We did. We ended up getting a car trailer, but we couldn't fit the boat and trailer on the car.
Yeah, we travelled all the way back to Musselbrook. We're parked up at the train station. We're trying to push this fucking boat trailer on top of another trailer. Didn't work out. I think we went to the pawnbrokers at Musselbrook.
What a mission.
Musselbrook pawnbrokers, and he actually lent us another trailer. We went to his house. That was it, wasn't it? No, that was the trailer.
Yeah, that was the car trailer.
That was the trailer. And then we're like, it doesn't fit. So then we told him and we took it back. And did he give us your money back? Yeah, I think something happened there. Yeah, he gave your money back. And as we put the trailer back in his yard, the fucking things fucking ran into his fence and fucked his fence. So we're like, we really need to get the fuck out. And he's like, I need to get back to Inverell, fuck this, we're taking this boat. If it falls off, it falls off. Which was fucking dangerous as fuck.
It was dangerous as fuck.
We got to Moonby and the fucking thing had split completely.
You're going 100 k's.
Yeah, every town that started with N, we had issues. So it went from Maitland, Musselbrook, fucking first started at Musselbrook. Then we went to Murray-Rundle, then it was really starting to fucking shit.
Like the time had fallen off both sides.
It was falling
left
apart.
and right side had fallen off the mud guards.
And it fell off the alignment, like the little hole, you know how like boats have those little
it was
holes that they
everyone
roll on.
was
it.
I got to Tamworth and the boat was
sideways.
just hanging on the fucking front of the trailer. That's all it had left.
And
I was like, I need to buy a new boat trailer in Tamworth. And I couldn't find a boat trailer to fucking fit my boat in Tamworth.
Then we got to Moonby and we were like, this is it. If we can't get it there, we're fucked. So from Moonby all the way back, we got to the Gilgai, but holy shit.
How God was on your side if he's real, bro.
God was on my side.
All I kept thinking the whole way home is, if this boat falls and kills some cunt, we're fucked.
So how we actually got it back and how it didn't fall off the trailer was somewhere along the line, one of the bumps in the road had caused the boat to fall on a roller and it did push, like, it
Did it
created
wedge
a
into the
hole in the hull of the
did
boat.
it? Yeah.
So the boat was just stuck on the roller.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
So
fuck
I
for
couldn't
that.
fucking move. But it meant when I got it home, I didn't have a
There was a
boat I
hole.
could put in the water.
I remember because we were
We
going to
used to
try and do
always
it up
party
and turn it into a pirate ship.
Yeah.
Because we just lit like that. Just turned the boat into a pirate ship. Was why not?
We had plenty of parties in
We
the
just-
boat, but it never
Yeah,
seemed
parties
waters
in
to
the boat.
take waters.
Yeah, the boat,
Parties in the boat on dry
the
land.
boat, the boat
Yeah.
just chilled in the back of Paddy's yard forever,
Yeah.
and we just drinking it and shit.
Partied in the boat.
So Inland Rush was a festival I tried to get off the ground, but it
Yeah.
never went anywhere.
What's it called?
Inland Rush.
This
Because
is
like we were
never explained
inland
to me.
and it was supposed to give you a rush. So, I was like, Inland Rush.
It sounds
supposed
good.
to make you feel good.
We still could make a.
We still could make it. That's exactly right. But it was like
There was a lot of
10
fucking-
years ago, we tried to make it happen and we just couldn't get it off the ground.
Yeah. Well, we're young then, man.
And this was
We didn't
before,
know nothing. Now we know everything.
This was before that Inverell festival thing
Yeah,
that Vital
it was.
Heights tried was on. Like that was a big festival, and like Inland Rush, yeah, that would have been fucking sick. I don't mind saying he often performs in nightgowns. I've never performed in a nightgown,
No, I don't know.
but it was just something that paid.
He wore a nightgown quite often. He never performed in it, but he wore
Yeah,
one
but I
quite
think it's
often.
more of a chill quote. Like, he just does it so easy. Like, he's chill.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more of
Don't
a.
mind Jada. He often performs. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but then we did do one of those fucking. what were
Like
those?
90% of our performances was done in a pair of jeans, a fucking button-up shirt, and a hoodie.
Yeah, we
Like that was
Made our
our
style.
look for ages.
the collared shirt, tie, and hoodie look was our style. We'd spoken about that one on the first
Cash
episode.
ass.
We
Cash
did
ass.
speak about
Cash
that
It
one.
was smart cash, sort of.
Smart cash.
So you had your collared shirt, your tie, and then a hoodie over it. That was our style. Like I don't think I've seen any other person do that style. So
Fun.
we've,
Still not.
we've copyrighted that shit. So don't copy us, motherfuckers. But don't copy our styles. Like,
So this next song is
Well,
a party in my house.
this is
Party in my house. Yes. This is one I remember.
This is the big one. This is like everyone's favourite motherfucking song that we've ever done, other than just another superstar.
Yeah.
Which is weird because like we didn't intend for it to be a fucking awesome, amazing song. It was just a cat. I think people just loved it because it was catchy.
And it's like parts of it are relatable. so the origin of the song came about because Jacob,
For you,
what do you mean from me?
from your perspective,
Yeah, it didn't come about because you actually had cunts turn up just drinking there all the fucking time in Windale.
yeah, fucking hopefully.
And
But
like you didn't know anything about it or
Oh.
anything and it just fucking happened.
yeah, it was sort of. Yeah, I gathered a lot of the influence for the song itself from all those times because, like, my sister would have the fucking wildest parties, and then just people would just be always there, and I wasn't a drinker much at that time, and then I just couldn't deal with it all the time. So I sort of channeled all of that into this song. But I remember when I made the beat in Bandara.
Yeah.
And when I make the beats, I don't start with drums. I start with like melodies, and I think I started with like the organs, and then the accordion sort of sound, and then built drums around everything. You know, I made this beat, and then I just sort of started thinking, oh, this would be a mad party track. But then I'm like, there's so many party songs, but there's not that many anti-party songs where there's people like I don't want to party, but there's people partying around me.
Yeah, there's a party.
So
in the place,
that was-
and the
that
people
was-
don't care.
That was the angle I took. I'm like, you know what, fucking. There's always people saying, let's party and shit. But what about the person that's like, I need to go to work, man. Why is every motherfucker partying? I hate, or there's someone next door, you know, partying and you just can't sleep, you know. I'm like, that's a pretty cool angle to take it. So I took all the times where my sister's parties that she'd have, which was nearly every fucking night for a year. And then I just channeled that, and I was like, the first thing I thought was, I'm almost out of ideas. What the fuck am I going to do? The strangers in my basement drinking all my home brew. My CD collection's a mess, and my stereo looks stuffed. Someone spilled grog on my TV, and that's fucked up. So then, yeah, I just kept doing it. And then I'm like, I need someone to be the devil's advocate in this, or I need someone to be like on your shoulder going, it's all good, mate. It's all good. And I thought, Paddy be best for this shit.
Yeah.
So I wrote my verse with intent to have Paddy talking at me in the verse saying like, "Nah, it's all good, bro, man. Just have a drink and just shut the fuck up. Don't worry, bro." You know.
So then
that is literally like Paddy's
verse around that. Like,
conform.
I'm trying to tell Jacob that it's okay and we should just party with these cunts and like just get over.
This is just Paddy's whole vibe altogether because Paddy just likes to chill and party with every cunt.
Get over your tiredness.
He's not in it for a fucking serious novel. You know, he just have a good time.
Yeah. And me, I was already gone.
He wasn't around, like you were saying, like, you wasn't around for those parties that I was talking about, but you'd just come back from Tassie when we recorded everything. You know,
Yeah.
like when you were living up here, but you wasn't around when all these parties were going on, and you didn't really come to Newcastle. You came down, I think, maybe once or maybe twice, maybe.
Yeah.
So like, yeah.
Twice. Yeah, I did the Newcastle window.
You did that too.
Yeah, I remember driving you two drunk to fucking Windale.
Yeah.
How many
I
times
wasn't
did we
drunk,
polish
you
them?
two were fucking drunk.
I'm pretty sure we polished one off before Tamworth. Then we
Tamworth,
picked
we got
another one up
another
at Singleton.
No, pick one up at Tamworth.
Yeah, that's what I mean. We polished it off. Went to Tamworth, got another one. Then we went to Singleton.
We had one on
And
the
then
way
we
to
finished
Tamworth.
that. Yeah.
No, we had 2 4-packs, 2 6-packs each on the way to Tamworth. And we needed another card. We got a card and we finished that card off before we got to Singo. To your mum's in Singo.
We stopped at
in the
Singo.
Heights. And then we fucking got another card.
That was the slowest trip to Windale ever because I just
The amount of times they had to stop
minutes
and piss
for you
every
guys
5
to piss.
minutes. Dude, I got to piss.
It already takes fucking 5 hours.
Just
Yeah, it
sticky
took
tape
nearly
and
10
tube
hours.
on
I
our
swear
dicks.
to God.
We should have
longer
sticky
than
taped
this
the tube on the end of our dicks and taped it out the window, mate.
It took longer than this
It
commentary. We're
Here's
still
a party in my house.
brought to you by Tippy Doo. No,
And the people won't leave.
yeah, so
I remember these.
So-
They wouldn't leave.
we'll talk about each thing where we get
Yeah,
through
yeah,
it.
let's go. Let's rock it.
This is an awesome party, bro. What are you talking about? I wouldn't invite anyone. What do you mean? You kids just rocked up and piss off.
There's a party in my place and you're going to piss off. I'm just like taking it from, there's a party at my house.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing now. Like, there's a party in my place in your bed. So I'm just saying, there's a party in my place, but you're not invited, obviously. You're all piss off, you know? Like, I'm taking for that Listen SO song.
Great songs.
You're invited.
Like,
Just
people might think, oh, hey, yeah.
Like that.
People might think they read the title of this and party in my house. Oh, it's just a rip off a party at my place. They're trying to be like Listen SO, but honestly,
They were a big
completely they were a huge influence, but there wasn't anything like that's not what I was going with when I made this song. I was looking at a completely different topic altogether.
This is about not wanting to party and being forced to be in that situation.
So
very much so.
I'm just saying it's chalk and cheese when if you look at this topic of this song and try and compare them, like some people might say, oh, these rappers in town, they think they're Listen SO or something. They're trying to copy these cunts with the same song, sort of sound and song, that's where, I just liked, when I
House
wrote,
is packed with
I
drugs.
just like the idea of like, I just left the house to go get something to eat.
Come back
I
in the
come
Colombian
back,
market.
there's even more.
Yeah,
I come back and there's
shit.
just cunts everywhere. I'm like, all I wanted was a feed for dinner. Everyone's partying around me. I'm like, fuck this, I'm going to bed. And Tippy's in the background on this one. Tippy's also doing a few raps. Like he's accompanying us in the verses.
Yeah, helping out with the part
Dubs,
some parts
helping
of the talking
with
verses.
No, you were talking on it really. Like
Yeah, doing the back.
you're on my verse and you're on. Well, you're on both both first and last verse. We chucked you on both. And like when I wrote verse 1 and verse 3, and Paddy wrote verse 2. Even though it sounds like we're both sort of we're going off each other, but
I didn't write my part of verse 3.
no, both 1 and 3, I wrote them all thinking of like, okay, Paddy, you can write these rhymes like. I've been around Paddy that long. I could sort of figure out like what kind of rhyme structure he'd work with well and what he'd say sort of, and it worked well.
People,
Such.
Too many people get the fuck. You had a really random ass party in your head, didn't you? Wow, that was an
a
insane.
big orgy upstairs for some reason.
That's an insane description of a party.
40 boners and such.
Yeah, blood boners and such line. Everyone who hears it always says like boners and such. It's such a random thing. Like,
I couldn't think of anything else that I could put there to make it tie into the rest of the fucking
that's just a rhyme scheme.
song. So it was just
Yeah.
Boners.
Did what you had to do to make the rhyme
Everyone's
scheme
up.
flow, you know.
16 naked people.
With boners and such.
Too much rum for me.
better have it to eat, being extra dry since you read out orgy. So I tried to be clever with those lines.
Yeah,
I've done
all that
Southern
was like,
Comfort,
all
fucking
that was
uncomfortable.
beers and shit.
Mm.
Beers and spirits.
So yeah, it was like too much wine for me. I better have the Tui's. I've been extra
dry
dry since the gin red or orchid.
Southern Comfort.
Fucking uncomfortable.
Yeah, all that
They
stuff.
play on the names of
Yeah.
the beers, but using that as the fill in a sentence, which is clever.
And like, they were all things that we drank.
And
like,
they were all things.
we drank fucking orchid and gin.
Extra
Gin
dry
and
was
juice.
severe. Extra
We
dry was
used to
heavy.
always drink extra dry, man. You
Until
and Paddy.
Platinums.
When I bought spirits, I bought Southern Comfort for.
Yeah, and Southern
Savi,
Comfort.
I
You
love
and Tippy
Savi,
used to
Savi,
always
Savi,
get fucking
Savi.
Southern Comfort, man. I haven't had that shit in so
I
long.
Too
don't
sweet
know.
now. It's too sweet now.
I don't know.
Have you noticed too sweet alcohols are too much?
It's
Before I
because
was
he's
like,
old
loved
as
it.
fuck.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, this is
I prefer me
flavor
a
for
sour mash.
Hey, give me
Just
that
give
plain
me a-
boring shit,
Just
bro.
give you a wine or something.
No, just straight up alcohol, no flavour. We've evolved.
Get Trevor from table.
So yeah, I don't know if I met that mate of yours, Trev. That one from Windale.
He wasn't a mate. He was one of those little motherfuckers that used to just.
That's why.
Is that that-
mate?
He was just one of them little motherfuckers that used to crash the house and act like he owned the place. He was only like fucking 14. I was like, and like we were fucking 20.
I remember
Patient.
I remember you talking a lot about him, but I honestly don't remember meeting him.
I'm sure that you were there one night and he was like stabbing the fucking wall with a knife.
Yeah, I don't remember.
You do remember him, don't you? Yeah, he was drunk. He was drunk and he had taken a heap of Panadol and he was just sitting in our fucking lounge room with a knife stabbing the wall like this. Like he was fucking, could not stand that little cunt.
How did he get stabbed? Like, what?
Because, well, we won't get into it. I don't know, bro. We've seen the crowd and followed them in. I remember when we were recording this, like, I kept fucking up when we were like, it's not supposed to be a house party.
I'm trying to remember,
Like,
but I can't. I must have been.
you were there.
pretty
pissed.
smashed, or
Or you
I
were
would've been-
hungover as fuck, I think. Like,
Yeah,
no,
some.
I thought he was drunk.
No, this was the next day after the chubby mum.
No, okay.
After a chub, your mum.
Not my mum.
Not yours.
Billy Joel's mum.
Billy Joel.
Joe's mum.
Good shit.
Oh,
But, yeah, that was the
Yeah,
next day.
that happened.
And you were hungover as fuck.
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I think it was...
Continued to drink.
Because Tippy's like, yeah, you got to smoke, bro. And I'm like, no, I don't. Piss off. He's like, what a hostility. This house party rocks. And I was like,
Yeah, we're good vibes.
I couldn't get, like, I kept fucking up going, when are you saying, oh, no, I don't. Of course I don't piss off. I was like, yeah, I do piss off. I was like I just kept fucking it up.
Yeah.
There was like 4 takes of me like trying to do that line for some fucking. It was a bit like Paddy with that verse before.
Yeah.
At the end of this verse too, the last line of this verse took me 20 times to fucking
Yeah,
get a proper
it's
take
another
on it.
ad-lib.
I ended up having to change the lyrics so it was how good it sounded like.
Yeah, it's another ad lib. We'll get to that lyric in a minute. But yeah, he's like, and when I wrote what Tippy says, and he's like, why the hostility? This house party rocks. Why this hostility? Remember Dodger?
Yeah.
He used to always say, why the hostility? Like, because he come and stayed in Newcastle for a long time, and like, when there was arguing and shit, he'd just be like, oh, why the hostility? Why the hostility? And he'd be drunk and he'd be like, why the hostility, bro? Just chill. Everyone's fighting and carrying on. So I got that. I'm just like, why the hostility, bro? This house party rocks. And that's why Tippy says that. It's not supposed to be a house party. Why the hell are you here? And he's like, I don't know, bro.
Not
Saw
that
the
me
crowd.
personally, I would have dealt with it differently. Like,
Like-
shut the fuck up, Jacob.
And I'm like, why the hell are you here? And like, I don't know, bro. I saw the crowd and followed me,
Yeah.
which would be Tippy.
That's what I do.
Especially back in them days, Tippy would have walked into a fucking crowd of drunk cunts. Time to cattle prod these cunts. I always thought that was just funny because it's like, imagine just walking through cattle prod everyone. Get the fuck out of here.
What was the original line? Hop over the fence or jump the fence or jump
So-
over the fence or
I got
something that I couldn't fucking get anyway.
So, there's a lot of words in it. Time to cattle prod these cunts. I need to get them out. I heard from someone that the cops are coming to the house. Get your ass over the fence. Can't clear the solution. That way they can cop the phone.
Or maybe
Nice
let's
solution.
just get your ass over the fence or jump over
No.
the fence.
I remember it being like, I wrote it like, no worries, just jump the fence, bro.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty sure it said, but
Something
there was
like
way too many words for the bar, like for it to work on the beat. But Paddy just couldn't do it. Like he couldn't get the rhythm of it. So I said, I'll just riff and just say whatever the fuck you want. So he's just going, rightio, and then he's going, chub your mum. One of the takes, chub your mum, just to be a smart ass Tippy from a story.
Everybody just need to get him out.
And he's like, chub your mum, and I'm like,
Chub
clever
your mum.
solution.
Clever solution.
But then, and then Paddy just went, get your ass over the fence, cunt, and it just worked, so we just kept it. That way they could cop the fine for noise pollution. There's a part, and that was the end of the verse.
Yeah.
That was party in my house.
There was a party at his house in the window.
Haha.
So we made the window. Window.
No one's making a window song, man. I try to repress those memories.
Repress that shit up. Yeah, come back. You go away from
Did you hear the last song? All those fucking
No.
bullshit I had to deal with.
Yes. Window was not a good place.
The next song is Alarm Clock featuring Dukebox.
Lindale was a pretty cool place to visit, Jane. Like,
It's a good place to visit, yeah. You don't want to live there for a long period of time, but when you come down and just get on it, man, it was wild.
lit
Wild,
motherfuckers.
lit motherfuckers. It was wild.
It was
Everyone was
scary
doing the party. Yeah, but it's scary at the same time.
Alarm clock.
I remember.
Yeah, alarm clock. Okay, what's this about? I didn't produce or do anything with this one.
You wasn't even on. Oh. No, I don't think you did any overdubs on this one at all.
I remember writing this around the same time we wrote that track for Poindexter. I remember those two.
It was
being
all
in
around
close
that
succession.
same period of time when I was down at that time, because there was certain times I'd come down and we'd do recording sessions, and I'd stay at my mum's house, and then we'd go out to Paddy's house and record, or if we had to, we'd record at mum's house, depending on the situation. And with this one, I wrote the beat while I was staying at mum's. I wrote the beat. I made the beat when I was at mum's.
Made it.
And fucking, I was influenced by the Nos track "Surviving the Times" because that sample is the same sample, and I listened to it. I'm like, I'm going to chop that fucker up and make a different kind of beat out of it. So I chopped it up, made the beat, and I showed Paddy. I sent it to him like the same way as we did with N-Sayne. It might have even been the same round time. I'm like, oh, here, show you the beat and shit. So I showed him, and then he must have wrote to it. Or maybe what happened was because Duke was coming for a recording session. He wanted to do a recording session with us at the time. And Duke's like, oh, hey.
Yeah, no,
I want to
we all wrote this together in the lounge room at
Well,
Parkwood.
Used to did. I didn't. I think I only wrote half my verse. And then I didn't get to record my verse. Only you and Duke did.
Yeah.
But I remember, I gave you the beat. And then like, Duke had been hitting me up saying, "Oh, I want to do a recording session, boys. I got like these couple of beats I want to do some raps with you." Like, and he had like the Cunnilinguist beat, which was for Walking Forward, which we'll talk about when we get to that.
Yeah.
And then you're like, "Oh, we should do that fucking beat," which turns into Alarm Clock as well. So then I'm like, radio. So we had the beats and that, and Paddy's already wrote his verse, and I think he even had the chorus. You can't hit the snooze button as well. So then it's like, okay.
I think I come up with the chorus because it was originally going to be my verse, but it sounded more like a chorus. Like I've done that
Like you
quite a
did with
few
N-Sayne
times.
Do the March.
Yeah.
Sometimes it just hits you straight away and you're just like, this is too good. It might be a better fucking hook than it would be a verse.
Everything evolves over time.
When we made the intro, after the song was already done and we got the concept and everything, I went back and I remade all the beat to go with all the lyrics and shit. And because it's got an alarm clock, I thought, fuck it, we'll start it off with like some dude snoring and the alarm going off and shit. Like, I just found all these stock sounds. None of these sounds were me or anything. Like, it's just all shit I found and just added it to it. Anything on that verse you can talk about? I know...
The end of that verse, I wanted to get quite technical with. I didn't quite deliver it the way I really hoped I would, but I wanted to get quite technical and have like the one rhyme in there and then go into a whole different rhyme scheme and then tie it back together to the rhyme scheme before that rhyme scheme at the end of it.
Oh, yeah. Yawning and talking.
Yeah,
And the fork is sticking nice in your guts.
I'm stalking and fork and sticking nice in your guts.
Very nice of Duke to just give you the fucking props that you deserve. DC for kicking the scene off.
N-Sayne, definitely.
N-Sayne made tracks you can only dream of.
Biggie Pop.
Because I was heavy into chopping up samples. I still am now.
I
But
really
that's
do.
what really began all that shit. Like,
I really wish to chopped up a Iggy Pop sample before Duke said that. Though. That would've
yeah, it's
been
funny
better.
because like, yeah, I guess it just rhymed with his voice
Yeah.
structure. But it was fucking. And JD's Dog, like, that's the first that came out. And like, people was still called JD's Dog. JD's Dog after that. Yeah, when Duke said that line, he'd get you up like a morning. I was like, oh, I should. Want me to put a sound effect on there? He's like, yeah, fucking oath. So that, yeah, so fucking oath. I just love the flow on that.
Yeah.
I don't know where I fucking got all these lyrics on this verse from, but I just fucking was rap. I know it was spontaneous when I wrote it because I wrote half of it in Gilgai and then I wrote the other half in Bandara on the end of it. But it's just like, I always often listen to this and I'm like, fuck man, where the fuck did I get this shit from? It's insane. 3 squinty-eyed cats but no rice eaters.
Yes. I don't know
You
what
get it?
squinty I guess.
But they're not rice eaters.
No, we're not Chinese.
Yeah, it's a good line, man.
It's good. We're just
Duke still likes us to perform this song. He must love it.
It's a mad song.
Yeah, we always play it live. Still to this day. The next song, Power of Ryan. This was the other song that was recorded at Mum's house when we recorded the intro.
Is that a Bandara?
Yeah, you were there. You were out there.
This is Bandara. This one was cool.
Cool.
You know, what's that shit?
You're about Street.
You're about Street is where we did Better Sucks too, wasn't it?
No,
That was one,
Better
buddy.
Sucks one, bro.
What's the best one? And then it was.
This was the second one.
We
did the second one.
I thought Bandara was before.
No, Mum moved away. Mum went from Urabata to the pub to Bandara. That was how she. Yeah.
You went to
Yeah.
the Bandara.
I went. Yeah. I didn't even go.
That was a choice.
No, he didn't even live in Bandara.
I never
He just
lived in
went-
Bandara. I just stayed there for like a week. Or
He
two.
went from Batter Street to Windale.
Oh, that's right. And your mum then went to Bandara or you went.
Yeah, Mum went from the pub to. When the pub changed hands, she went back to Bandara.
Mm.
She had she had to stay there, which was a shit show because it was so far fucking away from town.
Yeah.
But I made this beat was fucking just another really easy beat that I made because it was only 2 samples in the song, like the drum pattern and the guitar, the actual sample, which is "Dream On" by Aerosmith,
Yeah.
which is popular because it was an Eminem's "Sing for the Moment."
Oh, is it?
With-
mama.
Yeah, it's the same sample. But I added sound effects and all this other random shit to it. But like the Power of Rhyme, I think was supposed to be on DC vs the Rhyme Factor as well.
Yeah.
But we never finished it off or anything. And like originally the chorus I wanted because to play with the guitar, I was like, what the beat was called "What Do You Want?" That's what I called the beat. And then Paddy, with his verse, he ends his verse with the lines, "The timeless wonders with no perception in time, trying to give you what you want through the power of rhyme." So I thought, I'm going to say that at the end of mine and turn it into a chorus.
Yeah, and call that.
So we call it the power of rhyme. And I wrote my verse first, and then Paddy wrote his verse. And we tried to record it at Bandara at one time, and we had a fucking problem trying to record it. So it might have even been like you were there. We tried to record it and it wasn't working for us. And then we tried it again another time. So there was 2 different takes that we tried, and the second time is what we left on the mixtape for the song.
Yes, that was a theme though.
But originally,
Things not fucking working.
Oh yeah, it was called "What You Want" because when there's breaks in the song, it's like the guitar I wanted to follow the tempo, like, "What do you really want from me?" Following the guitar.
Yeah.
But then when I heard Paddy's line, I just went, "Fuck, we got to just copy that shit." That's sick. When we recorded this, Paddy's verse was on second. We recorded it on second because Paddy had trouble jumping on the beat.
Because of the way it starts.
The first verse jumps. The way the beat kicks in, Paddy just couldn't just jump on it. Like, it kept throwing him off. So I said, fuck it. We'll record your verse on the second verse of the beat, and then I'll just move it back to the front. Because I wanted his verse first and mine second. And then obviously we got the third one.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say about your verse, Paddy?
No, man.
It was a pretty fucking sick verse though.
It was a sick verse.
What were you channeling, do you remember?
No. I just wanted to get on some intricate shit.
Rain in the willows and the muscular air.
I find sometimes when I write on paper, the verses tend to be more intricate than when I write on the computer. So I'm pretty sure
you write this
this
on
one was
paper?
done on paper. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
So yeah, my verse is like talking about how we're trying to figure out what our fan base wants from us, but at the same time we're trying to be ourselves at the same sort of, at the same time. There's sort of a struggle as a musician.
It is a big struggle as a musician.
Because, you don't know what's going to be hit or miss with people when it comes to making songs. Williamson's 6 strings. You want to say about that? As rare as John Williamson, as in like the country singer.
Yeah.
6 strings.
It was just
rhymes,
so,
all this
yeah,
stuff.
I was just talking about how
Pedal through the streets.
how I feel
our
our music is just as valuable as a John Williamson guitar or something like that. That's what that line refers to. That whole verse talks about how people don't see reality, like they don't see it for what it is. It's just they overthink things too much. They overanalyze and critique everything and try to make reality what they believe it is and not take it for exactly what it is.
That
was taken back.
That refers to me when I first told Jacob we should do more than 2 verses on our songs.
It wasn't even that. To me, it was more like, I remember when we did DC vs. the Rhyme Factor, a lot of our verses were just 2 verses.
Just about all the songs on there.
Like,
2 verses.
there was like maybe 2 songs.
Same with Better Than Soft. I don't think there was many 3-verse songs on that either.
Probably not. No, there was only maybe a handful that were 3 verses. But then, I remember, someone saying, Feudy was saying, oh, yeah, why don't you just have more verses? Or is there only 2 verses? Can't you write more or sort of thing, be a smart ass? So I just took on that and was people saying they want more verses, they just, two verses aren't enough, they just want more lyrics. It was just a joke about it.
For 10 years, still don't get the recognition from our closest peers.
That's 20 years now.
It's 20 years now.
We've been making music for 20 years and still don't get the recognition from our closest peers. So we say, fuck it, see you later, we're out of here. Take Plan B and ride a rocket into the stratosphere. It's just that everyday struggle of trying to do something and not knowing what you're doing at the same time.
Not knowing what the outcome's going to be,
Yeah.
really.
Fumbling your way into trying to
make
make
not knowing how it's going to be perceived and what the final outcome will be.
That's right. The next song is Chase the Devil Away. The beat was a Kanye West beat.
Yeah.
Jay-Z song.
Jesus.
This was our attempt at being political at the
You
time.
just look political.
At our time,
Yeah, this was a very political song.
this was us.
This was more of a chance for me to talk about conspiracy theories that I believed in.
And also, it was fucking Julia Gillard was in government at the time. It was just
Yeah, she
fuck
was. So
that
the
motherfucker.
devil was Julia Gillard and we were trying to chase her out of town.
What are we talking about?
The government is an
We're
asshole.
talking about
Gillard.
Any
Yeah.
government is an asshole. Doesn't Gillard was our prime minister when we did this.
But
The government is still a piece of shit.
Morrison, we still would have said the same thing.
If it was
Even
Tony
if it was
Abbott,
Tony
it was a
Abbott,
piece of shit.
even if it was Malcolm Turnbull, even if it was any of these motherfuckers, we'd still be saying the same shit.
It was just easy for Like, because that was head of parliament. That's why we're like, she's the devil. Yeah. That's what we're taking it from.
The G's the devil. All the way.
So when we say the ranger is involved, we're talking about Julia Gillard, not my ranger bitch. Lucifer, son of the morning. And Tippy's on the chorus too. You might not remember recording this, but you're on the chorus. You're doing overdubs in the background.
Overdubs.
Like the fucking. Yeah.
Now we're not even allowed to work with our conditions, Paddy.
I can't even remember what you used to make that gavel noise. It was a fucking big hammer or a fucking shoe or something. Yeah. You smashed it on his desk to make that gavel noise. It was funny as fuck. Any particular bars or anything you wanted to talk about that one?
No, it's all pretty self-explanatory.
That's pretty fucking straightforward,
it's fucking, we're being controlled to believe that freedoms and things that we have are exactly that, but they're not.
Like they control everything we do.
Like fresh air ain't free and water is not water. Like clean water is not water.
Yeah. Our perception of the freedom we have is just that, just a fake perception that we're fed to believe in.
And it's the world over. It's not just here. It's not
just here, yeah. And there's different levels.
But that's exactly right. The perception of freedom that we have is just a perception. And that's why now, like, with all these freedoms that feel like they're taken away from us, it does not fucking matter because it was just a perception.
They weren't there to start with.
We're not really free. If we were really free, we could walk into any shop we want wearing nothing and have a piss on the food and not get in trouble for it.
And take whatever we wanted from there. And
exactly.
There's no freedom.
It's not the freedom I want to live in. And everyone uses those extreme examples to devalue someone's version of their own freedoms.
That's exactly right.
Which is not good, but it is what it is, and we all should be mature enough to deal with those people that think they're wearing blah 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 and get along with their lives. Get on with their lives and get along. Not get along with their lives and get on.
Yeah.
Get on it. That's
to be honest, I never fucking voted for a long time.
I wasn't voting back then either. I got a lot of letters, but
don't sue me, but I've voted for a long time.
Yeah.
I just did not want to get into the political bullshit. Right. Keep that hole with a plug. Yeah, they sort of are, mate. Well, the next generations after us are in that much debt. It's not even funny now. Like we just.
So they normalise.
Not even your children. Your children. It'll be their children that's got to cop all the shit that we've had to put up.
Children's got to pay for this pandemic. Someone's got to.
That pandemic.
We won't ever pay. Well, we will. We're starting to pay for it already. That's why inflation is the way it is now.
That's why you can't fucking buy a house and shit is fucked. Yeah.
Yeah, the longer down the track, our kids.
But your kids, my kids, and their kids, they're the ones that are really going to suffer.
It's going to be really fucked. Like, the price is going to be ridiculous.
And I mean, it's evident now, like, the way the roads are built and that sort of stuff, that money's, like, for a while, now that money's all run out, but when we were kids, bro, that wasn't our parents' money. That was our grandparents' money. That was their grandparents' money.
Yeah, it's all
like everything. Yeah, that's right. Everything you pay is not for your generation; it's for the next generation.
Yeah, we're having siphoned through
3 generations deep before we can even. Well, we're paying for something that our grandparents probably had to fuck.
So we're now, and we will continuously pay for stuff until we die that our great grandchildren will benefit from.
What's the next one?
The next song, who was the next song, Mr. Man?
Yes.
Is Making Music When You're Not, which is a long title for
Making Music When You're Not.
And,
the rappers, it's the people that come out, they make a song and they get a little bit of hype and then they do nothing else.
Yeah.
Rest of them are making music when you're not.
We've seen a lot of motherfuckers come through and leave us.
Yes, but that's because we all make music for us. We're not making music for them.
Yeah, it's always been that way.
Yeah, it's us. It's what we enjoy doing.
I don't make music for a particular person. I just make music that I like.
I had other things on my mind, bro. Sorry.
So Making Music When You're Not was going to be on DC That's the Rhyme Factor. And it was a completely different beat to this one. It was a shittier beat that I made. So I wrote my verse to a different beat completely. Yeah. And then when I was at Mum's in Bandara that time, I was like, because I used to just fucking sit around there making beats because there's not much else to fucking do out there.
No.
So when I wasn't hanging out with Paddy, I was just sitting at Mum's making beats and shit. And I'd be up until fucking like 4 a.m. making beats. So this beat was another one of those beats that I'd made at Mum's house. And fucking, it just had this real menacing sort of sound to it. And then I was like, you know what, the music goes real well with the other making music with you, not lyrics. So I went, Paddy, let's fucking do it. So then like Paddy wrote his verse, which was the first verse. Then mine was the second. And then the third verse, I wrote the third verse. Nothing to do with this song. It was just a verse I'd made. And then I'd split it up so both of us had lyrics. And we sort of back and forth the third verse. That was a fucking sick verse. I remember Duke always liked this song when we showed him this, and he just like when you were saying the bong smoke is settling, I can hear crowd like the menacing beat with the lyrics is just a very complimenting.
It works well. It is very.
It's
very
complimentary.
Painting.
You
painted that image.
Yeah, it's very visual. Yeah, it's a visual. Yeah, a lot of visual lyrics.
Yes, visual lyrics.
The last part of that verse where I was like,
abusing melodic kids until they're black and blue.
I was just talking about all the new school forms of rap that was coming out at the time where people were singing a lot more and using a lot more auto-tune, and I was just had enough of the shit.
Oh, it was very filtered back.
They were abusing all the stuff they could do with it, like they weren't being true to themselves, being true to the lines. They were just making it sound good.
Making songs for the poppy songs. Poppy songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, then like the chorus, I channeled a Bliss and SO line, like Bliss song. I was like, it might have been Soldier On or something like that. I think Bliss was saying like, you ready for this rap shit? Or something like that. He said something on one of his lines, and I remember when I wrote this chorus, I was like, it's time to shine. It's time to do this. You think you're ready for this hip hop music? Well, step up to the mic, boy. Let me see you prove it. Like, I'm just like talking to those cunts that are like not taking themselves so serious, and they're just trying to do this shit, but they're just looking like assholes. Like, you know what I'm trying to say.
I do.
So making music when you're not. So like we're always making music. We haven't stopped. We're one of those people that fucking. We didn't find it a phase. We've just lived it forever. Like there's been people coming and going, and over the years, but we've always done it, and people around town.
And we always just do it. Like we don't set ourselves any fucking.
We don't set goals for shit.
Goals. We just do.
We make music when we feel like making it. At that time, like we're not saying, oh fuck, we're going to release 3 albums next year. Get ready for that shit. If we just make music, if we feel it, and if we're in a groove, similar to like the last one we made, like we got in a groove and we just made a heap of fucking album, made a heap of songs, and we're like, yeah, we've got enough for a fucking album, So that's what I live for. Like we had a few sessions and it worked out.
Yeah,
but that's just how we approach hip hop, man. Like we live our lives, but like music's always. It's just
complemented.
It's always there, and we're like.
It's always complementing it.
We'll always be making it.
Yeah.
It seems in 1200 techniques at this point, and this still got the chick who think I can't make beats.
Now there's an old school group.
Take off beats.
1200 techniques, man. I've not thought about them since you just mentioned them for years.
Yeah, we've been making music since back then.
Since back then, yeah. Well,
like,
I know what I'll be doing
that's
after
how
this.
long it's been. Like,
I'm trying to remember that song, Karma.
Yeah,
that was a good. Karma's good.
One of my faves.
Yeah.
Fucking oath.
Man, what happened to them?
Well, Infa still does music.
Yeah, Infa runs.
And DJ Terrell probably still DJs.
Infa runs the hip hop show on Triple J every Thursday too.
Doesn't he? Took over fucking what's his name? Did he?
He's been doing it.
I thought what's his name? How was he doing?
Oh no, it is How. Sorry.
I thought you were talking about
How.
It is How. What? Where the fuck is?
He does other.
What the fuck has Infa done lately then? I don't know.
He's just chilling.
But
doing what he does.
We've always been here. That's what I'm saying there.
Since back then, yeah.
Don't come at me like a rookie, man. I've been with Paddy. Me and him been the duo since 2001. I've always been
Long
around
time.
him, man. We've
Since
always been
you
doing.
said
I've
one.
been helping this motherfucker write rhymes sometimes, man. Like we've always been together doing this shit. You know, that was a bit of a stab at a few people that were rapping in town that thought that they were fucking better than every cunt. When, like, you know who the vets are. Show support to the fucking people that have been around since the get-go. Sort of shit.
Just everyone should support everyone.
That's right. Like, you don't come into a town and start shitting on people. You don't.
Exactly. It's shitting on someone's own.
It's no different to you don't come into the rap scene and start shitting on people that did it before you. You know, that's what we're saying on this song. Like,
It's how the scene grows and builds. It's not by shitting on people, it's by people continually improving. That's exactly
you build
right.
from what come before, you know. Like it's all, you know, and like you always pay respect to the people that were around before you. Like you always show love for the hip hop heads out there, man. We
That's
love our
right.
old school music. Man. It's a nostalgic thing. That's why we do this kind of thing. This is nostalgic. It's 10 years old now.
I think it was funny when you were like something about the Game Boy, there's no need for the dual screen. It would have been about the same time, like the DS would have maybe been out 1 or 2 years.
With the
Yeah,
dual
we're still
screen.
relevant with the old DS.
Yeah, that's why I think it's
On
funny.
top of our
It's
Game
just-
Boy, no need for the dual screen.
It's funny how we pull relevance from fucking what's going on at the time.
Yeah.
But like a lot of artists do it, this is what happens. I just find it funny.
And then the next one that we come up with on the track list is Our Way.
Oh,
And Tippy Dude is featured on this one.
I remember
This
this
was
rapping in Gilgai in the spare room.
Yeah, in Parkwood Lab.
Yeah, we
Park
recorded
Lab.
this in the Parkwood Lab.
Yeah, man. All right then.
This was like,
Me
This was-
confused a little,
this was
as it was back then. No, it wasn't because I was drinking. I knew exactly what I was doing.
This is the only song where the three of us had wrote a song on the spot from scratch. We got a beat and we said we like this beat, and we all just sat in a room and we wrote the fucking song together and recorded it the same day.
Yeah.
That's what this song was, which is pretty fucking funny, really, because like how many songs have we made, and this is the only song where we've both all been together, you know, like we wrote it on the spot. Usually it's
Just
like
yeah, everything was. This whole song was done in the one day on the spot.
pretty much, yeah. Like usually we
Let's make
come
a
to
song.
each other.
Yeah.
We come to each other with our songs, like, oh yeah, I got a verse, can you write on that?
Jump
or,
on this.
Or
Jump on
Paddy's like, I
that.
got this concept, man, I got this mad hook, man, write a verse, and then
Yeah.
like, you know, like this. But this was the first time where we ever wrote something and recorded it in the same time.
Completely spontaneous. That's all good.
And we helped each other with the writing
Yeah.
and stuff. Like, I remember when you were writing, we were giving you ideas and like, you know, like we're all bouncing off each other sort of thing. We had it playing through Paddy's big PA, remember that big square fucking PA speaker?
Yeah.
We're playing the beat over and over, writing the lyrics.
Right. Lyrics.
Obviously, the boat story from
Yeah,
earlier.
bought a boat just to write some songs in the sea. A thing you never see.
Yeah, buddy.
You weren't eating them.
Them yabbies. We used to crave on every day for a long time, but we never ate them. You might
We
have.
always
I
played.
ate Trey Bobs, not all the time, but I ate
No,
Trey
you
Bobs.
did eat them. I remember my parents and when we go camping and stuff, catching crayfish to eat them. Crayfish, they weren't fucking. But yeah,
Yeah, we always did that.
I never ate them.
And shrimp.
I don't eat fish, but
Yabbies and fish, we always caught them motherfuckers.
exactly that was their daily.
Oh, yeah. I think you said that because you rewrote your verse. I'm pretty sure you rewrote this verse because you were like, I'm not happy with this verse, so you rewrote it again.
Yeah.
The Rossville writers. Who were they, Paddy? Just some
That
niggas.
was that.
some dudes.
That Bevan friend. No, Bevan de Bravender and.
Lysing? Was he in there? No, it was, what's his name?
I think it was Ronald Campbell, wasn't it? Ronald Campbell was with them.
Maybe it was. What was that other fella's name? Munga? Was Munga in
Yeah,
that group?
yeah.
Munga was in that group.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a random crew from a bunch of Ross Hill people that had their
I
own.
don't know
crew.
if they ever rapped, but they.
They
sort
always
of
said
thought
that they were
hard.
rappers and stuff. They tried to say they were. I don't know if they did. This was at the time when Vital Heights was around as well. So like every man and his dog
Trying to create a crew, a rap
everyone
crew.
was trying to be rappers, and then like we've had that phase happen a few times, but yeah, it was pretty big in 2008. Like there was a lot of different people out there trying to be rappers and shit.
Yeah, I could make this whole song from a tree I chopped down. I still don't know what that even fucking means. But maybe it's about making something out of nothing, you know, like.
Yeah, like carpentry, sort of like creating carving.
Trees make paper, maybe you think.
Yeah, that too,
Making
like
hustle paper. I'm just like fresh from
Yeah, he
straight.
cut the. You
I'm
made
so fresh.
You
to
pulled
write
the
my
paper.
rhymes. I make the paper to write my rhymes. That's
From
how,
the
that's
wood,
how,
not
origi-
even
that's
the
how
side.
original I am. I think that's what you're trying to say, bro. How original you are that
You're so funny.
even the paper you write on ain't made by somebody else. They made by me,
Or
motherfucker.
that you're so
Original rap.
You're so passionate that you just fucking you got no paper, so you had to make paper out of a tree. To,
Hey,
you know,
do what you
there's so
gotta
much
do.
you
What
can
you
take
gotta
from
do to get it
There's so
out.
much you can take out of this. Facebook was only just cracking around then too. Like,
Yeah.
It was.
I was when we were transitioning from having a MySpace to
Yeah.
a Facebook.
Everyone was on Facebook.
I didn't go. I moved, remember? After
Yeah.
Sam, I moved and I only got
You
Facebook
went from MySpace to Facebook.
down in Tasmania.
I didn't even get Facebook.
Just to contact you
for,
guys.
You didn't want it for a long
No, I
time.
didn't get Facebook for like nearly 2 years after it was first.
Because I had Facebook.
Yeah, I never got one first.
And I'm like, get on Facebook, cunt. And he's like, I don't want fucking Facebook. Every cunt's on Facebook. Fuck Facebook. Fuck yeah. All without a feature or a cover on a magazine. Because
He's just
We
doing
never-
it anyway because he's doing it for the love of doing it.
we're like myths, mate.
We
People only
it's
talk
not
about
us,
us.
it's Hollywood.
We've never
It's
seen
not
it.
Hollywood, yeah.
Although we have been in the newspapers a few
Oh,
times.
it'd always be nice. It's
Oh,
always
we've
nice to
been
make
in the
Hollywood.
newspaper a couple of times, but we've never made headlines. We've never made magazines.
We've never pushed ourselves to do that shit either. Like,
Mm.
we're not trying to push ourselves onto that kind of shit. For those who ever doubted, yeah, we did it our way. So it's just us saying, like, we never copied no one. We started it and we just keep doing it the same way. We're
Yeah.
Well, not even the same way. It's just
We've
our
always-
way. Every
we've
time
done
we
it our way.
change, it's still our way. It's still
We just-
no one else's way.
We don't copy other people's stuff. It's just our take on everything. And like, there's been so many different styles that have came through this town, you know. But we've always had the same sort of feel to it, and approach to every song that we do.
Yeah.
I mean, that was
was the time. Oh, we just make a song. We'll be rich one day.
oh man.
Nah, man. We just
Like-
make it for the music.
From
Cut out the richness. We don't need that.
smart asses are thinking it was a joke. Like we had people thinking like, oh, these fucking cunts.
he
wanna be rappers.
rap.
We've
I just like listening. How's the little? Hilltop song. How's the little music thing going? Right? Yeah, we dealt with that type of stereotype shit.
well, you're in a country town, man.
Yes,
Motherfuckers,
country town.
like you said earlier, cunts like rock or country. It's like we come in with the rap. They're like, what is this? And then you got all these teenagers coming through, and they're like, oh yeah,
They listen to rap.
listen to
They still don't
Tupac and
care
Eminem
about
and that. And they're like,
fucking-
oh, you just want to be cunts, you know? Like, but like, you know,
And we like to say things. We don't like to go hammer, 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 hammer. We ain't the mumble rappers, bro.
Mumble.
Hammer, 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 hammer,
That's after our time.
Yeah, way after.
But yeah, that's all we're taking on that, like, you know. And we're not quitting and shit, you know. We never stopped when people would fucking rip on us. Like Paddy, like he never stopped. That's what kept us all going. Like
And you just never fake your style to suit
No.
what was cracking.
we
on
didn't
at
follow the
time.
fads, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you
right. Didn't follow the fads.
We just
did
still
it
don't
our
follow the
way.
fads.
We
What's-
did it our way.
We'd be doing trap music now if it was fad shit, you know.
Oh yeah, we've been electronic
And I mean,
routes,
yeah, we've
all
made-
sorts of routes, man.
We've made a couple of trap songs, but it's not what we're about.
No,
I mean, it's
Either,
just
like-
what feels whatever we feel.
I don't think anyone should be bound by anything.
Fuck no.
No way. Just explore it all.
Yeah, that's what we do. With our past acts, slap backs. So that's really like talking about from when we were a massive crew. There was like 9 of us
And
once.
then it's split.
And then like the crews, we just went our separate ways. And then like there was a bit of time where we were all like fucking Jesus.
Well, you're young, so it was I wasn't there, but you're young, so it was going to be like feel and a betrayal or like
Yeah.
because you did.
Like
you're still
we all felt like this is fucked, you know. But they were doing what they thought was best for them musically, you know. At the time we were
young.
like we're all
They went their creative direction.
and to us we were like we've lost our best friends sort of thing. So it was like we're
'Cause,
like
yeah, it was
because
a
we're a
family.
family when it comes to
But
this
they
music.
they took it that way.
But you know, like, and we didn't think of it like we felt betrayed, but then we got over that. You know, we just fucking and we still make.
Yeah,
friends. That's what that whole line's really about.
We felt betrayed, but realistically, they left the family because we weren't going in the same direction they wanted to take themselves.
Yeah, like we were doing it the insane way, and they wanted to
Which
do it
always
their way.
encouraged.
So
If
that's
you
all it was.
go
really.
the direction that's going to progress your artistics.
You know, like-
That's it. Just go the direction that's going to progress your artistics and explain yourself. If you're going to leave a group, just do it nicely. Don't just do it out of a bad way.
Yeah.
Tell them what you're doing. Tell them if they're actual artists themselves, they'll understand.
I mean, that's
And that's
what
why
happened.
you young, so you didn't see it when it first happened. So there was a bit of beef. There was a song or two made, I think, with a couple of beef lines.
there
in
wasn't
rap.
beef, but there was
competition.
There was sly remarks. Like,
Sly remark, yeah.
From both sides.
but it was more
from both.
competition than anything.
And
it was good.
It was, if anything, it helped us. It made us hungrier.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right, Timmy. It made us all hungrier. It made us want to fucking make better rhymes, make better songs. That was the competition. And it might have been what Inverell needed was more than just one rap group.
Who would ever thought you would have a rap fucking competition?
Well, we
There's
definitely
enough of rap group in Inverell, man.
Inverell definitely needed more than one rap group, but I kind of like to be in control. So I tried to just get everybody to join the one fucking rap group.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
It was it. Yeah.
But we should have done more like Wu-Tang. We should have. Where it's saying like you go off, make your own group, whatever. But in your songs, whatever, always reference that you are original.
But they do that though. But that's what's happening now. Like,
that's what's happening now.
All of the boys fucking.
They all talk about our times and stuff. They always represent us. But at that time, they were trying to figure their own way through the music industry. They wanted to. They've all got their own sound, so it's like that's why it was hard for us to harness them and trying to contain them into our style because all them boys had their own different style, and they still do. Like they're all got their own.
You
different...
should just be proud enough.
Amazing.
You should be proud enough that you were the stepping stone.
We are.
We're always happy.
Their lives are fully created and from those situations. Look at them. They're all into music now. Duke, Blake, all that.
Yeah.
Beauty. They're all into music.
I'm so proud of all the stuff they've done.
Yep.
We didn't even we might not have even started them doing it, but we had contributed to what they did, and they still love us for what we helped them do. And we appreciate everything that they've done.
Well, in this town, imagine how many people get inspired like they did for that bit, but can never find an outlet, so they bury it and it's gone, and then that's it, and they Blake, Duke, all that found use, and it helped.
Yeah, it helped them.
Fertilized them. They fertilized and grew, and then went on their own, which is what you want to have for your children.
Fuck, we could
be able to survive on their own, create their own stuff.
We could talk.
You did that, so you should be proud of that.
We could talk for hours about all the times that we've had and what we've done with all these different people to help them and inspire them and encourage them, and all the stuff that we gave to these people to help them along the way, but it's just you got to feel humble and you just got to appreciate what they've done. That's what hip hop's about, man. It's about coming together over something you love and just expressing it with with a crew, with a family. That's what we are.
You should never hinder anyone's artistic ability. If you're saying you've got to stick in this box because this is the box we want you to stick in. No,
this is good to say from an older head now. You can't put old head on young shoulders. Back then we were 19, 20-year-old and we thought these people were they'd left us, they when you think of it from an older head, you're like, you know what, man, they wanted to do their thing, so let them go, we tried and it wasn't what they wanted us to do, so we'll do our thing, they do their thing, That's just how I think, and you probably agree with that.
We didn't even consider collaborations at that time.
Back then, it was like a family sort of thing,
Still is, yeah.
But yeah. So when I said retired from coaching,
what's that shit?
Retired from coaching, check our backs, you see the scars we've got. It's the same sort of thing. It was what we were just talking about, but I feel like I'm done with trying to teach motherfuckers how to do shit anymore. We did it for a long time. These days it's we're not going to take someone under our wing and teach them how to rap anymore and put them on a pedestal like we used to. It's just us now. That's just how it is. It's a struggle half the time to try and get our shit out, let alone try and have some poor bastard rely on us to push their music, So that's what that was. And nowadays we just tell them to set a 10 Woodcock is from the movie Woodcock, where he's the coach and he's got the he's getting with his the student's mother, and it's just him saying set a 10. He's you go and he's set them in drills, so we just tell rappers to set a drill, we tell them what to do, sort of thing, we're the boss. That's what that was.
Practice your limericks, you bitches.
I remember when you were writing your verse and you're what's the name of that dude off Golden Axe with the massive axe? And then Paddy's Googling And we found out his name was Gilgai Stuff in Head. So you're like, I'm going to chuck that in the rhymes.
We're gonna chuck that in the rhymes, mate.
So what happened with the pub, backflip off your pub line?
Oh, it was just a reference from a story of how I used to behave.
I'm pretty sure you got kicked out of a pub.
I did get
pretty
kicked out
sure
of the
I
pub
was
and said,
there.
fuck y'all.
I'll fucking backflip off your fucking pub then, is what you said to me as we were on our way out the door.
Drug
Yeah,
lyrics.
I'm gonna fucking backflip off this fucking pub then. Because that's
Backflip
not backflip
off your
off anything. You know, you get the edge, you see something that's perfect backflip distance. You're like, backflip on.
It's like a fucking
Yeah,
funniest insult though. I was like, oh, backflip on your pub. It's like, what's that going to do?
I don't like
You're going to
actually-
break your leg or something.
Maybe I could sue. Who knows? I'm not being violent, trying to attack people, saying, "No, you're not letting in your pub." I was just like, I did it my way. I'm just like, "Fuck y'all." I'll release my anger by backflipping off your pubs. I do not care.
It's my way and a half.
I don't even know why we got kicked out of the Like, it was the Oxford.
Was it?
Yeah,
It was the Oxford, and I've passed out in all the many places
Many
in that
times.
pub.
Good
And they
times.
just let me go and just push me under the computer table in the computer room.
Drunk
Let me
and
sleep
disorder.
there. You'll be right.
That's funny as fuck.
But yeah, that's the way it was, baby.
Song.
We did it our way. Now what's the next song?
It's called
Summer Spot.
It's called Summer Spot. It came off. It was really made for.
It was supposed to be for that postcards from the coast because
Yeah.
I wrote and recorded it in Caloundra in the Gold
It was
Coast.
like 2009. It was early.
Yeah, it
days.
was like
It was like one of the first ones we recorded. for
was
this.
it when Annabelle was. It was either when Annabelle was born or the
She was
year
very
before.
early days. Like, yeah, she was born because she went over.
Yeah, so it was 2010 then because she only just turned 11.
So it must have been real early in the month, like in the year, because this come out in September. So it must have been early in the year.
Yeah, anyways, yeah, so summer
So, yeah,
song.
the
About
song-
summer things, maybe.
Yeah,
Now, Paddy wrote this song. Like he was at the beach. Like he was at Caloundra.
it was in Caloundra in August,
at the
bro.
boat.
It was August, I remember, because
He
it
was
was
at the beach
winter
and
and I could go fucking swimming in the beach.
And he was recording. He bought he had a different, like a new mic and shit, and a little like a mixer
Yeah, I
desk.
bought a mic and a mixer from I think it was either a pawnbroker or a music shop up in the Gold Coast.
And he was like, "Fuck yeah, let's do some recording, J-Dog." He's like, I got this idea, like postcard from the coast. So it's like Paddy's at the coast, and he sent like songs to me. We make a song, like we were going to make an EP like that, but all that came out of it, I think, was this song. Like we might have wrote some, but this is all that we
This
accomplished.
is the only song that got recorded. I think there was like 2 or 3 other verses written that I wrote, but this
And
is
we
the only
never
one that
finished
got
the
recorded.
entire thing. So we just went, okay, we'll put it on Better Than Socks 2. And like, this was one of my beats that I'd made when I was still in Newcastle, you know, and fucking, I'd just been making all different styles of music, trying to figure out how to fucking work it and produce, you know, like, it was still early days of producing, but I just started getting really good at making beats and shit. And I'd send a heap of beats to Paddy, and he wrote to this one. So then I wrote and recorded my verse in Newcastle, and Paddy's was recorded at Caloundra. So
And here it is, guys.
I mean, that's what we used to do when we were kids, man. We'd swim in mine shafts and creeks, fucking all sorts of shit, man. Leeches were motherfuckers. We used to have to take. Your sister was good. I used to take the fucking bottle, the big salt.
Yes,
I'd take it
my mum
down to the
loves salt.
big creek. Yeah,
Maybe
the big
if we
white
just-
table salts.
Maybe if we collect all the salt from all our parents and everybody else and pour it into the river, we can get rid of all leeches forever. That was
Killed everything.
That was a kid mentality.
How
before,
funny.
wasn't it?
I just remember when your sister and all them used to swim in the creek, and they'd always have a fucking table salt tub with them. I'm like,
Yeah.
random, but
Well,
good
that's
idea,
like-
because there was always leeches
Yeah,
in that
also,
fucking creek.
as soon
as you
as
hit the
salt
water-
touches the leech, it turns inside out and dies. If it's on you,
Yeah,
fuck
so
all
they
salt.
started-
You don't have to worry.
It's just clever. That's why Paddy's like, yeah.
It's just keep your few platinum, obviously, but being on the beach on the top, just catch it.
The other two is
extra
platinums.
dry platinum.
They were the shit, man. I wish I still made them, man.
Yes.
What percentage were they? 9?
like 8%.
7 or 9% or something?
They dropped over time.
Yeah.
The
Because-
last one before they disappeared was 6% they got.
Yeah,
to
'cause
them,
what
which
happened
is
was-
pointless because the whole reason you get them is because they were 8%ers or 9%ers,
What
or
happened-
some ridiculous amount like that.
What happened was they tried to fucking lower all the percentages on alcohol because
They did,
because they
because-
were worried about the danger of it all. And
They
now
didn't
bought
just. They didn't just try to lower the percentage.
did it,
and
though.
it's not worrying
they
about
slowed it
the
down.
dangers. It's people binge drinking, and they're
Binge
still
drinking.
doing it now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't
it
stop
did
anything.
nothing. It's just
They're banning lots of fucking alcohol, like pre-mixed alcohols in pubs and shit now because it's still a binge drinking culture.
Yeah, but at the same time, they sort of gave up on that, trying to fucking make major percentage beers and shit. Because, like, they got rid of them, no platinums, but now you can buy a fucking can of Wild Boar and it's fucking 9%. It tastes like freaking moonshine.
I used to drink Wild Boar back when I was 15, man.
Yeah, but like they got rid of all that shit.
Bourbon, bourbon.
They got rid of all that. They brought it all back though. Is what I'm saying.
It's all about Woodstock, doesn't it? Now they do fucking 15% or something.
Yeah, like the real 20% is like really strong shit.
What?
Yeah. Like they went. There was this time where we're talking was like they were still doing it. And then there was like a year later, they like went, oh no, we can't have all these high percentage alcohols, so they just fucked them all off. But then in the last couple of years, they brought it all back again. So certain ones you can get high percentage. We're still waiting on this.
It's the government trying, like they always try and make us like force on things onto us, and then realise, oh, we can't really do that. It doesn't work.
No.
Fucking hopeless.
It was like the fucking breweries were just like, fuck yeah, let's just give them as much alcohol as we can.
Yeah.
Sell it higher price, you know.
Whatever sells.
Fucking people will drink it, man. If it's high percentage, motherfuckers, they used to sell them in like 10 packs or something. No, 8
That's how you start.
That was the shit.
You drink a 4-pack of that, you're already half cat or over half cat before you get
It was cheaper to just pay
It's
7.
probably the cancellation of it all probably has a lot more to do with fucking the tax that breweries and distilleries have to pay because they have to pay like $20 per litre of 40% alcohol. So when you break that down to beer or anything, like when you make something and you've got to give the government $20 before you can sell it, you have to go and get that $20 back.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Like that's
with
why
beer being as cheap as you can't make it back. You can't justify paying that much.
No, well, see, the beer taxes are lower because it's like beer's 5%.
Yeah, it should only be that's why Platinum's died because they can't make money off selling 9%.
You're paying $21. Yeah.
Beer.
You're paying $21 for
alcohol. Yeah, pay $50-$60 for a bottle of alcohol because it's spirits. Spirits are always on the high end.
We're paying $21 for an 8-pack of fucking 9% beers. It was insane. Like it was so good. I was like, you could buy that and be fucking that was your night. You didn't need a carton.
I used to pay $19.50 for my Platinum 8-pack.
Fuck, you must have got a good deal, man. They were selling them expensive as fuck back up in Newey.
I do have an idea. It's really interesting. Check it out, folks. Imagine getting all these saying the mixtape and just redoing it with our skills today. Not the same rhymes, but just reworking the songs with a similar pattern, like with the similar choruses, but doing it without. It's like updating it with our knowledge now.
But then it wouldn't be the same.
It wouldn't be the same at all. I'm just saying that'd be a cool concept to like consider trying to do.
But that's what you do every time you make an album.
Yeah.
You take the last album you made and try and better it. And that's all you're trying to do with this.
Yeah, but you like remix and like remix.
You
sort of have to
you
don't have to think of the whole basis. You just have to sort of use them but change it up to make it like a more modern version. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what I was thinking of.
Concept, yeah.
It's a different concept because I'm just thinking because back then.
That tells you what that time was.
Yeah, it tells you what stuff we're talking about. And that's what we got. I'm just saying, like, how good we are now. We could have made this straight. If we had the skills we have now, this straight a lot different. Would have been a lot different.
Would have sounded a lot different.
Yeah, a lot more sound
That
quality.
beat was very much from that time.
Yeah.
I don't make beats like that anymore.
Think fuck.
Those synthy sort of beats, they were popular at the time, and I was doing lots of those, but I was also doing lots of samples, but I just liked sampling better. I just love sampling songs, I still do.
That's what I was trying to say. Like, imagine how much this track would sound now with our styles now. All our different Inverell styles and what we've done over 10 years. What's about 11 now? Is it exactly?
This was 10 years yesterday.
10 years
That's why I wanted
yesterday.
to do it yesterday. But we can't do it one time, we can do things like.
Because you already know this, things, but you'd change
I
the
thought
beats
of doing it like.
change the chorus, keep your rhymes, maybe redo your rhyme, but update the choruses and stuff like. Because we can sing and do a lot better these days, and you know how to do a lot more with your editing things like that with your sound, your voice vocators, and all that crap, man.
I was thinking of that kind of shit like a couple months back. I was like, we could just like get the same sort of beats.
We made this all on the basis, like, you know, like you were saying at the start of the track, we're doing it all on like.
Yeah.
We're hackers. Shit like that. Just
but
like what you can get, what you can use.
What I was thinking before, like a couple months back, I had this concept where like we could it's been so many years since it's come out. But I get like the same sort of beat, but I'll make it different, more modern, and then put newer rhymes on.
It is a lot of time.
So it's sort of
you're
hearing like just like the intro, but it's got a different drum pattern, different sample. Like it's the same, but it's newer.
That's what I was trying to say.
That's what you're saying. It's the same sort of thing that I had an idea to do, but then I was just too busy doing other shit that I couldn't remake all the beats. And then I'd have to be like, hey, let's.
It is hard to revisit. It would just be like a job. It's not a creative experience. It's more like just a.
I spend a lot of time just making new songs and writing new songs, so it's harder to just go back to them.
Well, look out, guys.
That's why it's
better than socks free, bitches.
Well, we did have that concept.
Whoa.
It's still in the books.
Yeah, it's still.
But it might take us 50 years to make.
Will it be a mixtape? Will it just be better than socks? The album. All OG.
Mixtape. The only reason they call it mixtape is because they've got commercial beats on them.
That's what I mean. No commercial beats after number 3.
Well, if we ever fucking,
No commercial beats number 3. We'll just call it.
Jacob better start making some beats, or we better start throwing some money at some fucking G-Jar.
We do need some beats.
Need rights. Need the rights.
We'll make the
beats.
Yeah.
You can't just download beats or download them off YouTube, bro. That's
no
now,
different
but
to
it's
do
still a
with
mixtape.
There's no different to do with
We
this.
don't own the fucking rights to the beat.
True.
The next song is Hell Yeah Remix.
Hell yeah.
Remix, because, we were going to put this on.
We should have just called it Hell Yeah Part 2. It's really not a remix, but...
It is, it's the same chorus and everything. It's just repeated different verses. So, I guess it is a part 2, but a remix is a part 2 too, really, when you think of it.
Yeah, but when you think of a remix, generally it's like...
You're thinking of like a DJ
remix. No, like just a general remix. It's either the same beat and different lyrics, or different fucking beat and
same lyrics. Yeah. It's very similar. But yeah, it is.
Like, this is more of a part 2 than a remix.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
We had this one for DC vs. the Rhyme Factor. It was one of the ones that we were going to use on here.
Yes,
so it was another one. So there was a few there that we had and we just blended them together. The beat I made the beat in Newcastle. It was called El Beato.
El Beato.
And then one day I was just listening to the beat, and I was playing I thought, shake the can up, playing the old Hell Yeah. And I'm yeah. So I told Paddy, we should fucking do a remix, wrote different verses on. And then we'll do this, and he's like, fuck yeah, so we wrote our verses and that, so that's what we did for the Hell Yeah Remix. Recorded in Gilgai, pretty sure, at Parkwood Land.
Yeah, this was recorded at Parkwood.
Tippy was on the backing vocals. We like to party.
Yeah. Simples.
A few fucking things on your verse to unpack there. Fuck. Some random shit. What do you think comes to your mind? Some fucking funny lines there.
I think we're just trying to make
jump on the stage.
lines, but
I jump on the stage and I spit like Hyde, as in hijack from Hijack and Torture.
Yeah.
From his fucking Bliss and SO concert they did, and he's jumped on stage and he looked like he was off his fucking tits.
That's
always.
right.
He's just hunched over and he's fucking rapping
Did he have ripped jeans on? Is that where that come from, or was I drunk with ripped jeans on one day? Is that where that come from? I know I was definitely drunk with ripped jeans on because I've done that 100 times.
Holes in the ass, ripped in the seams, throwing in the microphone.
Yeah, that's right. That Hijack did come on stage, and that's where the Happy in My Hoodie come from too, because he did a song with Bliss and SO, which was Happy in My Hoodie.
Yeah, he was performing that song when he was off his tits.
No, I pissed in my jeans. Yeah, I really liked his verse. It's one of my favourite ones I've written actually.
And you were just and it started off following off the same as the first one. Still grabbing drinks and spitting in them.
On Hell Yeah, what was the lyrics? Grab a drink, start spitting in it.
Yeah, I grab a drink
like a mic and start spitting in it.
Until people tell me to shut up, they just bitching up the life of the party. Yeah.
So to start this one off was still grabbing drinks like mics and spitting in them. Who's the two main cats with Old Dog's Wisdom?
Yeah, that's a good follow through.
Yeah. Partied up whatever town we in, so I could grab your boobs.
From you to sim, like the bar.
There's been plenty of times I've been drunk and just groped somebody. Just groped them. It's stupid, and I probably should have been charged for it. But there's been plenty of times I've just groped people drunk.
Holy shit.
We run away. Yeah.
Got the bar on fire. We torched the whole pub off to do what terrorise the club. That was when we performed at DY.
Yeah,
we always
did
talk
the
about DY club.
Battle of the Bears. That was a pretty good trip, though.
Yeah, we got a free,
That was
all
pretty
expenses
awesome.
paid trip. We talk about that one on the BTS1 commentary. So, Civic crash through the door using a cart. There's a battleground. It was the same as what you did, like follow from the last version of Hell Yeah, because I was like, I rode in on a BMX, goes through the front door, whereas this I was like, see me crash through the door using a cart and there's a battleground. So,
Same
Oh
principle.
shit, don't get Jade on that vodka, man.
and don't get Jade on that vodka, man, because I had some pretty fucked up nights on vodka back then. And I still,
Vodka is
still cannot handle vodka, man. It's
yeah, vodka.
got,
That always gets me in trouble.
I'm still that necklace cunt passed out on the floor. Me and Fletcher Dog and Pat again with drunk and shenanigans. Running down the street, piggyback and a stolen mannequin. So that was the story about us stealing the mannequin. You know, like, I'm still that legless cunt passed out on the floor.
This mannequin had a big influence on your life.
Yeah, that was
No, it's just a big influence on this album.
It was big.
This album was Mannequin album. You know? There should have been a picture of a mannequin on the album because
Just call the whole album just Mannequin.
we should have had a little.
Mannequin again.
Should have had a little tiny picture of that mannequin just in like the background of like the cover art sort of thing, like, you know, like
Yes.
just a little picture of it or something.
Or we should have had a picture of a mannequin in a trolley just like us. And
Yeah.
Yes.
4 of us
Just
instead
little
of 3 of
masks.
us.
It should.
Yeah,
It's probably very sour wherever he's at, the mannequin.
He'd be in a
We
bin.
didn't include him.
He's probably decomposed now.
Yeah, he probably was taking post there.
On the gin and juice, we loved our gin and juice around this
We
time.
did love our gin and
We used
juice.
to always drink gin and juice. It was like
Remember when we went to the Venetian Carnival with a bottle
we
of
had
gin
a
and juice?
fucking big 2-litre bottle, and we put like half a bottle of fucking gin in it, and we were just rocking around drunk in the Venetian Carnival. And the cops come up to us. They're like, "You boys drinking? Someone told us you to drink it."
We're like, no, it's just juice.
We're like, "No, it's just orange juice, man." They're like, "Oh yeah." And then some fucking girl walks past. She goes, "I'll tell you." Actually, sipped it. She's like, "Oh, it's anything. It's weak. It's piss." And then she walked off. So like, that bitch just drank like half a bottle. Then the cop was like, "Right, whatever."
Right,
It was
yeah.
so sketchy.
Sketch, yeah.
And then we went back to the Oxford, and I fucking fell over a bar stool, and Mum didn't even realise I was drunk. She's like, "Oh, was he drunk?" I didn't know. I mean, yeah. Try and control Paddy when he's drunk. Good luck. Look at the motherfucker, man. And the drunken states that he's in, like, he just flops around. He's just like.
That's okay.
Don't get me drunk,
Remember-
then try to control me, definitely.
Remember when we
is
got
when
real drunk and we were trying to go back to yours, and we couldn't stop him from going to some person's yard and just watering their flowers. He just
Yes,
picks up a
that's
hose
the-
and he starts watering their
You
flowers.
just have to let him flower someone else.
Just let him go. I'm not fucking going there. Yeah, that was years ago.
Yeah, that was another line I could not fucking
10 noodles and he ripped his jeans.
reconstruct for the life of me.
It was very quick on that line. 10 noodles and he ripped his jeans. And I remember you did it like, you just said it over and over. Like, I don't even do the beats on it. You just like said, 10 noodles and he ripped his jeans, 10 noodles and he ripped his jeans, 10 noodles and he
That's
And
exactly
then I
what
just
happened.
chopped it up and put it on there because it was like, it's too much fucking around to get that on there. So I sort of just go on a drunken ramble. At the end of it, that's what the lyrics, that's why they're so fucking random. Because it's like, I'm really drunk and I'm just rambling shit. Like, do it for the children.
Think of your lungs. Think of your lungs.
Think of the turtles.
Think of the turtles.
Think of the oxygen. Imagine if you were sitting in here pumping billies all the whole time. Man, this room would be like big
And I would
smokehouse.
have been fucking chill.
Walking forward. This is the next song. Walking forward. Tippy.
I remember writing my verse while I was on the fucking either an afternoon shift or a sleepover at my place. Or I was cooking dinner when I started writing. I just had this pen and paper and was jotting down a line, cooking dinner. Oh, another one came to me, jotted down. Go back to cooking dinner and I just wrote for kind of work. I don't remember. Do you know why we used this beat? Why?
Duke had been listening to that album that this came off, Can't Linguist album, and he loved the beat, and he came up to us and said, "Oh yeah, we should do a song." Like, I think he told you, you were working together at college, and he must have told you like, "Yeah, let's do a song."
I'm pretty
so he's
sure
organised a session.
I'm pretty sure me and Duke were on shift together when
When
I
you
wrote
wrote
my
this.
verse because I think Duke wrote half of his verse.
That's probably exactly what happened, because I was out at Bandara, and I remember like he was like, yeah, well, Duke wants to do a recording session today. He's got a couple of songs and shit, got some beats and shit. So I'm like, righto. And then like we already had the alarm clock beat, so he's like, he had to write to that after recording this. So that day was a recording session with this song and alarm clock out at Parkwood Lab at Gilgai. So then Paddy's like, all right, let's fucking do this shit. And your dad was there when we did the recording session. Your dad was there. Because when we did the bottles for alarm clock, when we're like, hey, doing the cheers, your dad was in the background and he's like, you cunts got empty bottles. we used these empty bottles to make the noise. You had yours, Duke must have read his verse at home or something, because he came in and he done his verse. I was still writing mine. Maybe he was halfway writing it. You had your verse. I was still writing mine on the laptop when he was recording yours. And then I think I recorded mine the next day when we did alarm clock as well. Yeah. Because I remember Duke was shocked at the lyrics. He was like, "Did you just write that?" I'm like, "Yeah." Yeah, that's I'm right here writing the motherfucker.
That's right. You did write that when we were sitting.
I was sitting in your lounge on the laptop and I wrote the lyrics, and like I think Duke was still penning his, you know, like. And it didn't have a name. We finally just called it Walking Forward.
Yes.
Well, a fair bit to unpack on these verses. It's probably one of my favourite Duke verses, to be honest. It's just such a mad bit. Fucking sick verse, man.
It is a fucking sick verse, bro.
So much in it. It's just so subtle, but so fucking lyrical at the same time. It's just fucking mad.
On the same subject from that verse about stories of what you heard in Gilgai Creek, the river. Yeah. What about the hand? And do you remember that story? For sure, Paddy told me this one. If you go down to Gilgai Creek at a certain time of night, a hand would pop up, a green one it was, and it would be going through the water, ready to grab him, drown him, and hold him under the water.
That's a fucking.
And no, that was a legitimate fear I had to swim in Gilgai Creek.
That's a random ass fable, man.
I probably did say that. I do not remember that, but I legit was really, really good at making up urban legends.
Yeah, and I thought it was a true. This is my first experience of urban legends, and that was that. And I was like legit. So I swam every day, and it took all my courage to go swimming every day because when I was a kid, swearing that this hand I'm avoiding a green monster hand that will come and grab me and take me under the water. And then there was leeches. Yeah. So it was fun. It was fun. Scary as fuck, but fun.
I can see where you thought of all this, because the lyrics are like, I've been told stories about the bottom, and if you get caught in something underwater, you're a goner. So just keep to that rope swing we made when we was 10. Because this whole half of this verse is all about the Gilgai Creek where we all went.
And we never strayed from where we did was safe. Like when we did, it was a system of like, process of elimination.
We were like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13... hanging around a fucking creek, you know, like we just
jumping off bridge.
We did all sorts of shit
swimming,
at that creek.
Jumping out of the tree, swimming in the creek.
We played all sorts of games around there. Like our parents are fucking reckless to let us do that shit. Like you would.
Well, our parents weren't reckless for letting us do that shit because that was a societal norm.
I know it is, but like you think about it now, you wouldn't let your kids do it.
No, I wouldn't let Annabelle go out by herself with her friends.
Like, you know, like
not in Inverell, maybe in Gilgai, but not in Inverell.
I bet Rihanna and Josh wouldn't do it either. Go down the creek.
Bella, they let Bella go down the creek because she's 13 now, but Sienna
we're doing that at 7 and shit.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking everywhere.
In Bathurst, my mum let me go with my friend when I was 6 years old, and we just was on our skateboards and shit, and we went down the estate and down all the sort of things.
Nearly as far back as I can remember, I used to wake up, get on my bike, and ride to your J-Dog's house or ride to your house, bro.
It's just the norm back.
As soon as I have breakfast, I was on my bike and out of that fucking house.
Yeah, we didn't hang around the house that often. Like we'd play video games, but most of the time we played video games.
Most of the time we played video games, it was either when it was raining, or one of you fuckers were in trouble, so we couldn't go to your house.
Yeah,
grounded.
Someone was grounded, so I was like, "Oh, we can't do shit. It looks like we're going to stay."
Go hang with them while they're grounded.
Yeah.
Lucky for our parents, let us hang.
Yeah. So that's what the story like. It was mostly this whole verse is just like talking about Gilgai Creek, like we had the fucking rope swing and shit, you know, like talking about the water and like don't get too like there was fables that fucking they'd put the old bike.
Did you hear about the
racks under the creek and shit so you could fucking get caught in the bike racks?
In McIntyre, remember the other thing down there? Apparently, or somewhere.
Yeah,
there's a whole down in McIntyre River, actually down in the river near behind Woolies or Coles or whatever there.
Yeah.
Apparently, I was like went swimming in there, going across the bridge there, the waterfall. There's a hole somewhere, sinkhole in there, and if you jump in and you go down too deep, and then you touch this whirlpool hole that's underwater, which is a possible thing, you get sucked under the ground forever. That stopped me from swimming. And, like I did not go swimming in that river.
Man, you could not see the bottom of that creek. You never knew how deep it was.
The creek was fine, but yeah, you
But
never
like,
knew it was.
like
It never was that deep.
for someone who couldn't swim, like it wasn't even like I didn't even get that phased. It's fucking crazy to think.
No, because you could flail your way because the creek was that skinny. You could flail your way. To
Yeah,
the
doggy
edge
paddle
and
out.
grab doggy paddle.
And most of the
You didn't
time,
have to swim.
There was always a
had
swimmer
flow,
around.
So when you're jumping in anyway, you get flowed. You
Flow back
just sort
to-
of flail your way to the edge and you flow to the edge where you can get out comfortably.
Yeah.
It was a good creek. It's a good creek. We didn't die. No one
No,
died.
we're still here.
Yeah.
You're
exactly.
a ghost. Here's to malls, fast food, and using money. We didn't use fucking money back then. We didn't go to shopping centres. We didn't have any.
No, what was
We grew up in the country, man.
Shopping centres? We had Gilgai shop.
That wasn't a shop.
No, that's what I mean.
I'm talking about malls
I
and
know,
shit.
I know, that's what I mean. We
Yeah,
had
them
Gilgai shop.
what's a mall?
Yeah,
We had the general store that sold
Yeah.
petrol.
But we-
That's
mall-
all we fucking had.
Yeah, that's what
How
we had.
funny is
Servo.
it? Back then, a mall was a holiday thing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
we're going on holiday and we're going
If
to
we ever
go
went
to
to
a mall.
Not even Inverell had a mall.
Like Armadale was closest thing to a fucking arcade, and that was
The
probably-
biggest thing we got to a mall was Coles.
But it wasn't a mall. It was a shopping.
It was a shopping centre, but that's the biggest thing
supermarket.
we had.
You know, but we lived in
Malls are
Gilgai.
crazy.
We
And then we
hardly
lived in
ever went
Gilgai.
to things like
Yeah,
that.
exactly. We only
Yeah,
went
so
there.
we only really had Gilgai store. Like,
And that's
if
like
when we
My
got
mum
$1
never
or
took me
$2
shopping,
or
so I don't
whatever,
remember.
fuck however we got
if we
money
were
back.
lucky to get $2.
We walked to the Gilgai store and bought some fucking lollies.
We mowed old
We
people's
wasn't even
yards.
worried about it though. Like,
We just
Right.
went
yeah,
up,
we
walked
did
up
that
to the
shit.
yard and go, do you want us to mow your lawn? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
How much? Then we mowed it and then we're like, how much you giving us? We didn't know, mate.
Bro,
They
that
ripped
old
us
lady
off.
I used to
We got
fucking
ripped.
help do a garden across the road from where you lived in Church Street.
Street. I remember that
Yeah.
old lady, yeah.
Bro, I just used to rock up there because I had nothing to fucking do and started weeding her garden for her. And
And
she'd
then she'd
come
come
and just
out.
give me coins.
That's
Yeah, and that's what it was. That's funny.
Like we used to do all sorts of random shit. Like Gavin was good at that kind of shit too. He used to hustle. We used
Yeah,
to go.
hustlers, that's all.
We used to go up the back of the rocks and get fucking earthworms and put them in a fucking container and go sell them to some cunt up
Oh,
bloody
they
Short
eat.
Street.
Yeah, yeah.
Gavin used to fucking know someone we would buy
Behind the
earthworms.
school there and those rocks, man.
Yeah, that's where we get earthworms and shit. Yeah, we used to do that
Those,
too.
those big, what were they called? The big rock earthworms.
And I
Those
think
are
we
big
got-
one like this.
We did it for like $10 and we went down the shop, bought chips and fucking lollies, and that
Yeah.
was our fucking weekend done. Like it was like we didn't chase the money like kids these days. They chase it and like they love going to the shops and stuff.
No,
But-
what about a day when it fell into our laps? We ran with it and got what we did, like we seen it, we did it. And that was that. It wasn't like money all the time.
That's
so.
what that
It
verse
still
was about.
shows now, though. Like, legit. We've all had opportunities where we've made a fair chunk of money and we don't have a lot to show for it.
No,
Jacob's like,
Jake's
Jacob's
done
the
that
only one who's
No.
got a house deposit and about to buy a house with his wife. Like, he's the only one who's done anything sensible with any money out
Yeah,
of the three of us.
but that wasn't much of it. That's because
No, I know.
that's because I got someone with a brain that doesn't waste money.
you simply got lucky where you chose it. You got the right one. That's all that happened
But, you
for
know.
you, bro.
Yeah, good times.
Otherwise, all your money would have been spent on music equipment.
It still is. What do you mean?
No, man, but you know what I mean.
Like, have you seen half a J-Dog studio gear? Have you seen his
Oh,
record
yeah,
collection?
yeah,
That's
okay.
what I mean, bro. Like, it still goes on.
I still
music
do,
shit.
but there's still
like, that's what I
sensibility
mean.
there.
Like, you done that, and your sensibility wouldn't be there. So all you'd have to show would be music.
Yeah.
Eventually,
Mm.
yeah, it'll
Yeah.
look sick. But that's really the concept of my verses were talking about. Like, it still was talking about the creek, and it was talking about like how when we were kids, like
Foundation.
we had no we didn't give a shit about money and shit, but like we didn't fucking chase it. Like we did it to get some lollies every now and then and stuff. you
We
know?
did
Like,
it our
It's not like yeah, we did it our way.
Yeah.
You know, that's what
We
that
didn't
verse
care
is
if
about.
we didn't go anywhere near a shop for fucking a week or two.
The shop was just a
There was always
convenience.
food at home.
Exactly.
It was just a convenience. That's all. Like we were just like, oh yeah, because if we weren't allowed to,
It's
have
more
it,
the opportunities. If the opportunity come up to be able to buy something in the shop, like fuck yeah, that's it.
like, yeah,
If not, we didn't think about it.
it was always cool to get stuff in the shop.
Yeah,
but like you didn't always do it. We never
Never
lived
thought
at the shops.
Yeah, that's right. Like kids, they grow up, it's the mall. They grow up around commercialism,
that's
capitalism.
city people.
Buy, like big shop, you can only cool if you
And then they're like brand name sort of things. Like,
and they know the brand names.
If you grew up around a shopping centre and stuff, you know brands, and you're like, oh, I'm not going to wear that. I'm going to wear that.
Yeah, exactly.
Style,
We didn't bother that. Look at our style back then.
We did
What
that.
style?
We had no
What
style.
style?
We were country
I
motherfuckers.
still dress like a hyperactive 90s kid, or in today's case, a farmer.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
no.
I don't know, didn't you
You
call
enlisted
me
in the
a
army
farmer?
or something. I was saying you go to the army, aren't you? I don't know.
I don't know, fucking...
Style. Jimmy's wearing my shirt.
Yeah.
Shirt with
I
my face on.
couldn't find me if I
Yeah, I was trying to find out.
Fucking love that. That is probably the best verse on this album. I fucking love that verse.
Oh,
So
it
that-
flowed. It
that-
flowed so good though. It was good.
Did you listen
That
to the lyrics?
Yeah, I was listening to this too.
Wow.
That verse was written in the time of grief. That was written about Christopher passing away.
Yeah.
I was gonna
Makes sense.
stop asking
Reckon
to stop
so.
it when you were saying that stuff and shit. I'm like, yeah, I think I know what's about. I don't really want to talk about it, so I wasn't gonna bring it up for you just in case you didn't. I'll let you do it and you
Yeah,
bring
I
it
can
up.
feel
So that's
that.
okay. But yeah,
So yeah, that's
Yeah,
why
that's
that
it.
verse hits so hard, and that's why it's so real.
and that's
such a
why
deep
it's
song.
so good.
It's such a
as
deep
isn't it?
verse.
Because the realism in it. You feel you, mate.
You can feel it in his heart and what he's saying. You can feel the emotion in it.
Yeah.
He's passionate
That's where the best
about.
songs come
You
from.
know, it was like standing in the fucking middle of winter in fully shorts and a t-shirt,
Missing a
frostbitten, but not feeling anything because it's still.
Yes, numbing the pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck,
The other
that's
pain
dope.
outweighs all other pain, like, and you're trying to stop it by feeling other pain.
Yeah.
I love the way this beat just ends after my verse too. Like
Yeah,
it
dude.
doesn't just end; it just glides out, and there's still some
It's
stuff.
the
going on.
emotion too. It's good.
We gotta keep
How
on
it ends,
walking.
like, it's like, yeah. Holds that emotion of that verse.
Yeah, it makes you think about it more.
Yeah.
It makes it more poignant. Gotta keep on walking forward. And it works with that verse too. Like, it's Paddy's gotta keep walking forward, man.
Yeah.
You know? That's where we got the name.
Still probably one of my most favourite verses I've ever had.
It is a fucking sick verse, man. Well done for that. Props to Paddy D's vault for your mind. That cranium of yours shocks me every day.
Yes. Sometimes I'm super smart, and sometimes I'm super.
It's just amazing where lyrics come from sometimes. There's songs on this mixtape, I don't know where the fuck they came from. They just flow out of you. Sometimes it just works, you know. You feel it and it just comes through. This is the last song on the mixtape. Produced by me again. The other one wasn't produced by me. That was a Cunnilingus song.
So was it? Explain to me what it sounds like. Law and Order.
Lord.
It's definitely got that Law and Order vibe.
This is the Eagles, the sample.
Ah,
It's
okay,
by the
yeah.
Eagles. The song's called I Can't Tell You Why, which is why this song's called Can't
Is
Tell
that
You
why maybe Law and Order sampled it?
No. It's just got that same bass, jazzy sort of vibe.
Yeah,
that's
that's
all
it.
it is you're thinking of. It's
It's also because it's not enough of it just being played. For
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm-
you only
I'm
had 2
sick of-
seconds.
yeah, it's 2
You had a
seconds.
snippet because it started.
And that's
before
where
I
my brain
introduced
went.
the song.
That's where my brain went.
But it's like, yeah, it's what happened was I was going through samples like I do, and I found this Eagles one that was Can't Tell You Why. And usually when I look for samples, I go on to fucking whosampled.com, which is a sampling encyclopedia pretty much. It shows you where everything's been sampled. I looked on there and I'm like, has anyone used this? And I noticed that it hadn't been really used by many people. I'm like,
Yeah.
good, I'm not going to be looking like a fucking copycat cunt if I fucking sample it, sort of thing, you know. And then I only had the first like 3 seconds of the song, the actual song that I sampled, and I just built everything else around the song. So everything else other than the do 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 do, that's the sample. Everything else I made, and I just built everything like. And it all just builds up in the chorus and shit. I like the sign and the synth and all that kind of sounds in it, and the bass.
Yeah,
And the-
fucking sick.
And the Picasso strings, all this random, like I love the beat itself.
Yeah.
It's a really sick beat. And like, I think I wrote my verse first. I produced it at Bandara at Mum's house and shit. I'm gonna fall over, bro. And then
I must have penned my verse just after a performance.
I think I sent it to you too. So
Yeah, but I must have wrote my verse just after we did a gig somewhere.
maybe.
Because you listen to the lyrics in this verse, it must have been maybe a week at most after a gig.
Could have been. So yeah, I think I wrote my verse and then I sent it to Paddy and Paddy finished his verse and then we recorded this one at Parker Lane, I'm pretty sure. At Gilgai.
Started Parker Lane.
That's just the sample that did.
Yeah.
Except for that. Oh, that was me.
So we say it.
It's funny how those lines are no longer relevant.
No.
Like Australian hip hop is accepted in the mainstream.
Yeah, it's
now.
nice, isn't it? How it's
It
come.
is nice.
10
It's
years,
fucking wonderful.
10 years later, that's how long it took for us. Like,
Gangster rap ain't really a
The
thing
shows-
anymore. It's more like junkie rap now.
Trap is what it is. Trap.
Well, what do you
Or
think?
bubble
They
rap.
call junkie as trap houses.
Trap and junkie rap. But yeah. Yeah,
Trap
that's,
unit rap.
that's pretty interesting commentary.
It's ironic.
It's ironic.
Australian
yes.
hip hop used to be heard, brought, and shown respect. Now it's
Now it is.
because of saturation. We've got a lot of Aussie hip hop acts out there now, and there's some pretty sick motherfuckers too.
There is still some gangster wannabes, though.
There's always gonna be people who grow up on like fucking
Yeah, we grew
gangster
up
rap.
people like the game and shit, man.
Yeah, but you know, those people that get influenced by that, and then they just rap that, and then they learn that's not real. So they either stop rapping or they just fucking change their style.
That's just the process. Like,
Growing up.
Growing up, becoming a musician like that, you go through the process. You follow your stars, you emulate them, you copy them. And for us, it was gangster rap at the start.
Yeah,
Then you
I
find
still
your own,
love gangster
but
rap.
you get older, you find your own style. You learn about all that stuff, about being an artist, individual, all that shit, bro. It all works out good, and then you get what we have here.
So yeah, like I approached this as I knew it was gonna. Just from the feel of the beat, I was like, I want this to be the last song.
Yeah,
So that's where I started my verse. Like I'm talking about the end of the mixtape as a mixtape ends, last scene. You know, we ended up wrap it up, so to speak, curtains down, end of show. You know, and then I start talking about how Australian hip hop needs to be us as well, like local MCs should be like listened to and respect and all that kind of shit. You know, support the local scene, that kind of thing. The drinking where we played like
That's whole segments talking about the live scene in Inverell. It's like,
yeah, the whole 4 listeners we have.
it's
You always have your fucking
And then to everybody else from the rest of the land, I'm still saying thanks for drinking where we play live.
yeah.
Because the pub's still always full when we play. It's just they're not moshing.
No, that's right. They're always drinking there when we perform and stuff. You know, they don't fucking go to another pub when we're there.
yeah. At least we're
There's
just
fucking
trying to
7
vibe.
pubs. There's like 7 pubs in town. So like, if
That's
you've got all these cunts listening to music, they could have just went somewhere else. You know.
Yeah,
You know,
they
so-
stayed there, got
so
drunk, and
thank
enjoyed
you
their
for
vibe. So
thank you
thank
for
you.
sticking around and having drinks and
Yeah,
dancing and being a smartass and
thanks for the vibes.
getting up on the stage
That's
and
right.
fucking spilling beers on the fucking fold back speakers and shit. You know, this random shit that we had to put up with.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks for shouting us beers. They were good times.
Oof, yes.
We'd say someone would buy us a drink and then someone would rock up with a schooner. That was fucking awesome. Thanks, bro. Thank you. This is where this fucking verse is awesome too. I love this fucking
that's
flow.
right. This flow goes hard. Eh?
This is like number 2 compared to like Walking Forward verse. I feel this verse. Underrated.
And that was
That-
better than Socks too.
Volume 2. That's
10
it, mate.
years later.
10 years on, like, I mean, it still holds up. A lot of those songs hold up today.
Yeah.
It's crazy how relevant some of it is still.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And like some of those flows of Rice still make me fucking like, wow, who did that? That's insane.
10 years
Literally.
ago.
10 years ago?
10 years ago.
When we were young, dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, we're a lot more knowledge now.
Yeah.
But, you know,
But
that's just what time will do.
yes.
I mean, probably wouldn't really change much about this mixtape
You wouldn't change
Looking back,
anything about
Wouldn't
it.
change
like when you think about it, you're like, I wouldn't really change much about it at all. Like I might have, done audio wise, I might have mixed it better.
Like I said earlier,
So-
we wonder how much better we could do with that
Yeah,
knowledge now,
but-
but that is just
But
pondering.
that's just how I was at that time. I thought
Yeah.
it sounded amazing at that time. So like you always develop, you change over years and you learn more. So that's the time capsule of what we did at that time, and this is our reflection on that. Thank you for watching. This is Paddy D. This is Tippy.
Look out for Better Than Socks.
I'll be
Trade.
proper
That's
D.
proper D.
We are N-Sayne.
ENT.
See you next time.
Bitches.
Go!